Oilers out of timeout. Adams gives it back to Rush. Deep shot. To a historic day. And the scoreboard flips. That smile.
The Jason Gregor Show.
Timeout. Adams gives it back to Rush. Deep shot. To a historic day.
On Sports 1440.
First pitch, he goes the other way. It's ball and it's gone. And the scoreboard flips.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Fly ball, left field. That one heading towards the bullpen, and that is gone. It's a 3-homer game for Alex Bregman, the first in his career. What a night for Bregman. And it is all Cubs here in D.C. I love that smile.
Well, tremendous Thursday afternoon. How are you? Man, this week has flown by. It's already Thursday. How you doing? Weekend's almost here. Depending on your age, maybe it starts tonight. Make it good. Welcome to the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. As always, we appreciate you listening, watching the show. Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where tonight, the Daily Grand, $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. It's over $7.3 million. Get your tickets, PlayAlberta.ca. And you can always check out our odds boost specials for the Jason Gregor Show. We got a few CFL and MLB ones, also even an early NHL one. So check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. The Toronto Blue Jays back in action last night, winners again. And when baseball play started today, the Jays found themselves 1.5 games back of Texas. Now, there's still Cleveland and Minnesota and Detroit that are ahead of them, but they are slowly getting closer to the team that's holding down that wild card spot. Now, Texas still has a crazy easy schedule. They're taking on the Angels again tonight, but Urena's pitching, and he's been not bad for them. So you never know. Texas hitting a funk a little bit. The Twins and the Phillies will go in the Field of Dreams game. They're bringing this back, and I love it. Like, if you've watched the movie, you know, but that is such an iconic field to play at. If I was a player, like, it's kind of like the outdoor games in hockey. The players love it. I know some people like, there's too many of them. No, there isn't. Not for the players who play. They love it because not every team does it every year. And it's still a hoot. The child within comes out in those games. So I'm assuming Philly and Minnesota are both going to be rather fired up today. The Jays are currently trailing 1-0 in the top of the fourth to Boston. Jimenez, a rare boot job, has now allowed Boston to have runners on first and second with 2 outs. So Scherzer, Mad Max, who, by the way, is now over 3,000 career innings pitched after he got out of the first inning. He gets out of this inning at 3,003. So well, obviously he's a Hall of Famer. There's no denying his career. It's pretty damn good. Coming up on the show today, Jim Vandermeer, former NHLer, has got a new coaching gig. He will join us. Stephen Bazan from Sherbrooke will be by. Also, we got Adam Scully. Talk a little golf playoffs, baby, starting today. We'll hear from Noah Taylor, the green and gold. He'll join us live at 3:20. We got Mark Anderson, Kevin Karras, Jamie Thomas as we go around the NHL. Talk a little Winnipeg Jets on the program today. We'll take your text, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Con man, how you doing?
Doing very good, Jason. Loving the afternoon baseball. Not exactly what's happening, but nice to have the Jays on in studio while we get through the show today.
Yeah, it's always nice. You got the game going on, and the Jays in a little bit of trouble right now. An error and a walk, and suddenly the bases are juiced, and so Mad Max will try to get out of this and get out of his 3,003rd inning of his career. So a crucial part in the game. Last night was a low-scoring game until the 8th inning, then the Jays put up 5 after Contreras just dropped the ball. Now, even if he catches that, if the other guys hit, then they still would have scored some runs. But they give you a break and you take advantage of it. And here's where Boston's going to try to take advantage of an error by the Jays. And we'll see if Toronto can find a way to leave the bases loaded in this inning. One thing I want to talk about today is trends. As we're getting closer, I'm trying to look at different things. I'm looking at trends in the NHL. There's a few trends that we've seen over the last few years. Maybe you've caught on to them. Maybe you haven't. The one has been the improvement in parity and really the lack of terrible teams in the NHL. Good or bad, we can debate it. But you're just not seeing the free space in the bingo card as much as we used to. And if you look at it, just over the last 5 years, and you see kind of how teams have gone through it, there's just not as many teams that are way out of it anymore. And the Jays did get out of it. So Mad Max, huge out, and it's still 1-0 going to the bottom of the fourth. So, because you look at last year, there was only 3 teams in the West with over 100 points. And there was only 1 team under 70 points. From 4th to 15th, it was a 25-point difference, which I know might seem like a lot, but compared, remember in 2022, well, maybe you don't, but you had 15 teams in the league with 98 points or more. Almost half the league at 98 points or more. And you had multiple teams in the 70s and below, right? 6 was 68 below. In 2022, there was no playoff race in the East at the midway point of the season. Now that's changed. But why has it changed? Is it changed? Because I know a lot of people are saying, well, those teams have been bad. They're starting to get good. Okay. San Jose is a little bit better. You look at those teams. Okay. I do believe that's part of it. I think that you're not having as many teams, lose their key guys anymore. Like, look at free agency. Free agency is not what it used to be. Now, you still can overpay guys. There's just not as many to overpay. And most teams are ending up keeping their guys. Now, there's still some trades to be made. Larkin, obviously other guys get traded, but you don't see it as much. One thing we have seen, and I kind of hope this trend continues, 100-point teams who missed the playoffs the following year. In 2022, Calgary had 111 points, St. Louis 109, Pittsburgh 103, Washington 100. All of them missed the playoffs the following year. Like the Flames, now they had a pretty decent season, 93 points, but they still missed the playoffs. You went from winning your division to being out. 2023, New Jersey had 112 points. They dropped all the way to 81 the next year. The Wild had 103. They dropped to 87. And Seattle had their miracle run of 23 with 100 points, and then they dropped down to 78. So fairly significant drop. Rangers had 114 points, won the President's Trophy in 2024. Vancouver had 109 points, won the Pacific. Both were out the next year. Boston also had 109 points. They were out. So it's 4 teams, 3 teams, 3 teams. 2025, Winnipeg won the President's Trophy. They missed this past season. Toronto had 108 points. They dropped 30 points down to 78. Happens every year, right? Washington went from 111 to 95. So the last few seasons, you've had 4, 3, 3, and 3 100-point teams. Now, this year, a little bit different because in 2026, we had the fewest teams with 100 points, 8, since 2011. The lowest in the salary cap era was 5 teams back in 2008 and 7 in 2009. So it's been a while to only have 8 teams with 100 points. So it's harder to see which of those 8 are going to miss the playoffs. If I had a bet, I'd probably put it on Boston or Buffalo. Colorado, I think, is safe. Dallas, Minnesota, they're all pretty decent. But never know. Carolina, Montreal, Tampa Bay. I still think those teams are all right. Boston, just because they're division, I put them as maybe the most likely. But here's the trend that maybe you've never heard of. That is, and when I dug into the numbers, I'll admit I was quite shocked to see how much it's dropped. So, goal scoring in the NHL. And I just do it the last 5 full seasons. I didn't do 21 or 20 because they were obviously, and I'm not prorating. That's not accurate. It's a guess. Okay. 56 game seasons, 48 game seasons. They're not 82 game seasons. Last year in the NHL, 8,086 goals scored across the league. The year before, 7,901. In 24, 8,086. Oddly enough, exact same amount of goals. So if you look at the last 3 years, most recent to 3 years away, exact same amount of goals. There's a little bit of a dip in between, but then it came back. But in 2023, there was 8,248 goals, 8,150 in 22. But you want to know what the difference is that stands out in those years? Power play opportunities. In 2023, there was 8,058 power plays across the league. 8,248 goals. Last year, there was 7,555 power plays. Goal scoring was down slightly. Not a huge amount, right? Down about 162 to be exact. And if you calculate the difference in that, it's around 20%. But here's where, and I have always argued this, but I've never really looked up the numbers until today. My biggest beef still with the NHL is they do not enforce the rule book often enough. And the numbers back it up. So coming out of the lockout, the full year lock, they were like, you know what? The league's gone where we don't want. We need to call the rule book more. And they did. In the first 5 years, there was an average of 11,246 power play chances per season. Now, it wasn't that every year. I just did the average, right? That was the average, 11,246. And by the way, there was only 30 teams in the league. Okay, there was no Seattle. There was no Vegas. Now there's 32, so there's actually more games. So in theory, should be a few more power plays. No. Do you know what this NHL has averaged in power plays the last 5 years? Remember, 11,246 for 5 years from 2006 to 2010. The last 5 years. And everyone the game's faster. Well, if it's faster, that means you got less time to react. In theory, the infractions, should they drop as much as they have? Because now, 7,642. That's how much they've dropped. We're talking over 3,600 fewer penalties per year across the NHL over a 5-year window compared to the first 5 years of the salary cap era. That's not long ago. That's not that long. Sidney Crosby played in both of those time periods. So did Alex Ovechkin. And, hey, man, I'd love to get some true serum from Sidney Crosby to talk about, okay, what's the difference? Because I'll watch the games and I'll tell you, that should be a penalty, and they let it go. But you know why? And here is why they let it go. Because while power play opportunities have plummeted in the NHL, power play efficiency has increased significantly. So if you go back to the best power play for that 5-year period from 2006 to 2005, cumulative over a 5-year period, the team with the best 5-year percentage rate was Montreal at 21.3. Okay? 21.3. Then, the last 5 years, Edmonton's the best at 28%. But get this, there was only 4 teams who averaged over 20% from 2006 to 2010. 4 teams. Now, there's 23 teams the last 5 years who have averaged over 20%. Okay? It doesn't, I'm sorry. That's a big, that's why they're not calling penalty, because they're like, oh, geez, we don't want to impact the game because teams can score in the power play. It is the most ridiculous. It's the only league that wants to limit offense by hurting the best players, because it's usually the best players, or I shouldn't say the best player, the guys who have the puck. That's where the infractions are coming, usually, on the puck carrier, which at the time, whoever it is the most dangerous player on the ice because they have the puck on their stick. They can make things happen. And the NHL is like, yeah, you know what, though? Geez, we don't want those power play goals, so let's just keep allowing the infractions to happen. And the worst part is the Players Association puts up with it. I don't get it. I do not get it. Lead changes, goals, that's what fans like. It's way better. It is way better. So I don't understand it, why they would do it. And I see no reason to see it dropping, sadly. It's just getting lower and lower all the time. You got teams who get like 2 and a bit power plays per game. That's it. And you're telling me there's only twice in a game where a player is not following the rule book? Lies. Lies, I tell you. But now power plays have improved a lot. They focus more time on it. They're becoming more creative. It's great. Right? There's 16 teams in the NHL over the last 5 years whose power play percentage is higher than what Montreal's 21.3% was in the first 5 years of the salary cap era. 16. That is a significant increase. But the league, they just seem to they do nothing. They turn a blind eye. And I don't really know why. Well, I do, because if you look at the history of this league, this is the league who in the 80s, when one team was too good at scoring 4-on-4, they changed the rules so they couldn't score as many goals. That's a fact. That's what the league does. I don't get it. NFL, they have altered their game significantly. Baseball, who is one of the most traditional sports, they altered their game. Let's get in a pitch count. Let's change the base pass. Everything else, right? Trying to get more offense, trying to have shorter game. NHL's like, no. Hey, we don't want more offense. We're good. And they basically put it on the shoulders of their elite players to keep scoring, despite the league doing everything they can to not allow their best players to shine. Shame on the NHL. And more fans need to speak up. You're the ones going. Get your head out of the sand. Stop accepting it. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. We'll take a quick break. We'll return to Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
They're going all out to earn your business at Wolf GMC Buick. Right now, they're seriously overstocked on over 400 pieces of inventory on clearance and ready to move. See for yourself. Click on the clearance tab at wolfgmcbuick.com. And it gets even better. Employee pricing continues with huge cash discounts, 0% purchase financing, and low lease rates on select vehicles. Once again, see their website for details or stop in today. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy. Designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical Team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
At Papa John's, we know it's not just a pizza. It's a family gathering, a happy birthday, a special celebration, or just a sigh of relief at the end of a busy day. For a limited time, get large one-topping pizzas for only $14.99 each on original, thin, or New York-style crust. Use promo code L1499 at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
For all your welding supplies, think AWS Welding. Located in Nisku, their readily stocked storefront carries a wide variety of welding glasses, cylinder rentals, plus welding rod, wire, and consumables. Same-day delivery is always available. And if they don't have it, AWS Welding will find it for you fast. Visit their online store today at awswelding.ca or give them a call or text at 780-979-0470. AWS Welding. They make it happen.
Election Day is October 19th. Are you referendum ready? Start by making sure you're registered to vote and your information is up to date, especially if you've recently moved or changed your name. Then, check if you have the identification you'll need to vote. The easiest option is a government-issued photo ID showing your full name and current residential address. But there are more than 50 ways to prove your identity. Find everything you need to be referendum ready at elections.ab.ca/voters. A message from Elections Alberta.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
I'm Rick Showers from Noble RV with a question. Are you camp ready? Camp Ready is our 12-month RV maintenance plan. You might think from talking to you on the radio or my online videos that I'm a do-it-yourselfer, but you'll notice the real work is being done by my maintenance team, the same team that looks after your RV when you become Camp Ready.
Camp Ready is a custom scheduled maintenance plan for your used RV.
That's right, Bob. For one predictable monthly fee, your fall winterization is handled, spring startup is on your schedule, roof assessments twice a year, and if something goes wrong during the summer season, guess who goes to the front of the line? That's right, people like you who are Camp Ready.
You're expanding Camp Ready memberships now, right, Rick?
Bingo, Bob. We're accepting 100 new members. We have to keep it limited due to the capacity of our team, so we know we can serve you dependably. Ask about Camp Ready next time you see us.
And that's
NoBullRV.ca.
At Papa John's, we know it's not just a pizza. It's a family gathering. A happy birthday, a special celebration, or just a sigh of relief at the end of a busy day. For a limited time, get large one-topping pizzas for only $14.99 each on original, thin, or New York-style crust. Use promo code L1499 at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app. Get yours today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Big guests, bigger takes. Jason Gregor brings the names you know and the stories you don't. Weekdays, 2 to 6 on Sports 1440. Don't miss a minute of the action. On Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.224, welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. As, of course, the MLB playoff push continues on. Also, CFL, another week begins tonight. The BC Lions with Nathan Rourke taking on the Calgary Stampeders. Stamps 4-5, BC 3-5. Somebody's going to miss the playoffs in the West, right? I think it's pretty clear the crossover is going to happen again this year. The fourth place team is likely going to go travel to Toronto, who will finish second. Unless Hamilton can make some big recovery here without Bo Levi Mitchell. It's possible, but I highly doubt it. Ottawa is not officially eliminated, but they're damn close. So somebody's going to be out in the West. And BC Calgary, this is a big game tonight. Then we got Ottawa, Winnipeg tomorrow. Edmonton, Toronto at 1 o'clock on Saturday, and then Saskatchewan and Hamilton is the later game at 5 o'clock. So a doubleheader on Saturday. We got a little CFL action for you, playalberta.ca, so you can check it out there. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440 is where you can text the show. We do got a lot of texts coming in already. Gregor, the one thing I like about your show is you always back up your opinion with some numbers. I didn't know the power plays have gone down that much. Have you ever talked to the league about it? Oh, multiple times. I've talked to people, and they're just, because a lot now, granted, I had looked at certain teams, but I just never went overall scope of the entire league. And to me, when you have 11,000 power plays a year over a 5-year span, it was actually 11,246 on average. And then you go to the last 5 years of the NHL, and it's down to 7,642. Like, I could see if it dropped a bit, you're like, okay, we're a little bit more, but the game's not, there's not as much physicality in the game now. But still, it hasn't dropped to the tune of 3,600. Plus, there's more games played now. Remember that. Because you got 2 extra teams than what you had between 2006 and 2010. So I'm I'm a big believer that the league is just like, man, our power plays keep getting better. So you know what we're going to do? We're just not going to call as many because now what? Now we don't impact the game. Because I hear that all the time. Well, the refs don't want to impact the game. But if you're not calling a blatant penalty, you're impacting the game. Right? You're impacting the game. So it's I don't get it. I don't love it. Now, granted, I will be honest that I'm a fan of offense, and I think that offense is great. And it isn't manufactured offense because it's not only that you might like offense. I just want to see the players show their ability. That's what I want. Right? Hooking, obstruction. No one's like, oh man, did you see that hook? Oh, unreal. We love it. No one does it. So NHL, my opinion, just call the damn rule book. That's all. I'm not asking for new rules. I don't want to just call the rule book. When you've got 3,600 fewer power plays each year for 5 years than what you had just earlier in the salary cap era, to me, you might want to check out why that is. Just a thought. Now, let's go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical, the most diversified electrical contractor in the province with over 53 years experience. They got project, service, testing, residential for both solar, for both residential and commercial. That's actionelectrical.net. And talk a little hockey now with former NHLer, good Albertan. Of course, also played for the Oilers, the Blackhawks, the Flyers, Flames, Coyotes, and Sharks in his NHL career, and then finished his career playing in Germany. He's the new assistant coach for the Vancouver Giants. Jim Vandermeer joins us. Jim, welcome back to the show, man. Long time no chat. How you doing?
Oh, thanks for having me. Doing good.
So, Jim, I'm always curious when guys, you play in the NHL for a long time, and then you're like, well, you know what? Hey, the league decides I'm done, but I'm not done. And you went and played in Europe for 6 more seasons. And obviously, it's not the pressure of the NHL, but was it more enjoyable in a different way playing in Europe?
For sure. I wasn't like a superstar or anything like that. I was one of those guys clutching and grabbing and hanging on every day that I was there. And then getting an opportunity to go to Europe and really just enjoy the game. It's just a totally different thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed every minute I was in the NHL. Just a little bit different vibe, different feel, different mindset.
Yeah. Not that obviously the game's super fun in the NHL, but there's just, you could enjoy it a little bit more. Because I think at times we overlook, like, the superstar guys might have more fun. But if you're a player near the bottom of the lineup, like, every day is a little bit stressful because you're worried about going in and out of the lineup, and in some cases going up and down to the minors.
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's not the end all be all when you're over in Europe. Like, when I was in Switzerland, there was guys that had day jobs, right? So, life goes on. There's more to life than just hockey over there. But yeah, in the NHL, it was, I knew every guy on the depth chart for almost every team in the league. So I knew who was coming up, who was potential trade bait. I was looking over my shoulder pretty much the whole time I was around. So, a little bit more stressful that way.
What was your favorite memory in Belfast outside of winning the championship?
I think just creating relationships with the people around town. There's still a little bit of a divide over there with the Protestants and the Catholics and politics and all that stuff, right? But both sides, people were amazing. It's a pretty cool small city. I think that'd be the biggest thing, just creating relationships within the community and getting to know a little bit about their history there.
Now, what was the best beer you had in Belfast?
Oh, all of them. No, probably Guinness is just down the road there. So, getting to have like a local Guinness compared to the imports over here.
Oh yeah, it is different, eh? Wow, I love it. So Jim, has coaching been something that you've always wanted to do? So kind of take me through now this next step for you with the Giants.
Yeah, so once I retired, so when I was still playing in the UK, I was like a player assistant coach. So I got to see the other side of the coin there, seeing it from management side, and really enjoyed it. Staying involved in the game has been a ton of fun. Since I retired, I've been doing skill development. I was actually helping out with the Giants a little bit, like unofficially, but I was helping run practices and doing some skill stuff when Mike was here before. And then the last year and then this year, I've been the director of hockey for South Delta Minor Hockey. So getting to see how a minor hockey organization, runs and all the ins and outs and the amount of time people put into that. It's been a lot of fun. And last year I was helping out with the White Rock Whalers, so Junior B league, and we won the championship there. And I think that got the competitive juices going again. And now we're on the next thing. So helping out here with the Giants, so it should be a lot of fun.
How would you describe your personality as a coach?
I'd say firm but fair, but right now it's just developing relationships, trying to figure out what make guys tick, and then just really focusing on the small details in order to make the guys better.
Okay, Jim Vandermeer joins us, and Jim, the obviously the WHL is a lot different than it was when you played back in the late '90s. It's not as physical for a lot of the players now. There's still the odd scuffle, of course, but not nearly to that level. And every player, every coach is like, hey man, you got to be able to move the puck, right? Like there's very few off the glass and out defensemen anymore. It's a complete puck management game. Teaching the defenseman in that, what's kind of the biggest thing that you've learned over that time to how to adapt it as a defender to be a good defender while also, being able to move the puck?
Yeah, I think in some ways it hasn't really changed a lot. Like I think we always used to call it back in Red Deer was play some kiss hockey, keep it simple, stupid, right? So I think lots of guys they're so skilled nowadays that they feel that they can do more, and most of the times they look for the extra play or the better play. I don't think the game has changed that much. Whereas the first play you see, trust your instincts and move the puck right away. And usually the first thing you see is the best play.
Okay. Well, it's funny how you say that. And then but at that, and I'm sure you remember having played in the dub, like Jim Vandermeer, the WHL defenseman, compared to Jim Vandermeer, the AHL and the NHL defenseman, very different. You can't be the guy who sees everything. Like there's going to be a lot of mistakes at a young age, which is good. How did you learn from all the guys that coached you? Like, was there a good way to you talked about being, firm but fair, but also, being able to teach and not just do this rather than show them? Like what's the best way to go about it? And do you have a way that you feel works good for you?
That's a work in progress with every player, right? So you gotta, as you're building relationships with guys, you figure out, does a guy work better being really challenged and pushed or just being told? But in general, in practice and on off days, you really got to break down. Now there's so much video involved that you break it down and really, really show it to them, and then, get them to focus on a couple things. And as they go, hopefully that something clicks in and you work, they can work their way that way.
The video sessions, Jim, some people tell me there can be too much, right? It can be overload because we can only still take so much information. And I know some guys like Paul Coffey, coach in NHL, wasn't a big video guy. So everybody's different. I think the young kids nowadays that they love it because that's kind of what they grew up on. So how's that assimilation being to video usage and maybe how it can benefit you as a coach, but also where it can maybe be a fine line if you do it too much?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like video can be overwhelming, and when you're, especially when you're learning and you're teaching, a lot of times you're showing the mistakes. So you don't want to, get too negative on the guys, but you show them some things they can work on, and then you show them some of the good things that they do that, can help build their confidence. And you say, this is the type of stuff we like to see, and let's, try to not do so much of the other.
Yeah, you have to find that good balance of, showing them as many good plays that they make, not just the ones that aren't the right play, right? You got to, hey, this is what we like here, guys, and pick it out, and away you go. Jim Vandermeer joins us, former NHLer. And Jim, I do want to kind of go back to a little bit of playing days. You won, of course, with the Red Deer Rebels in 2001, and then you turned pro, and you were an undrafted guy. Kind of walk me through that year with the Rebels, and then the next year, how you went to the Phantoms. How'd your pro career start?
Yeah, so going into my 19-year-old year, I figured at the end of the season I'd have a pretty good year. And the year before, I had a rookie camp tryout with Carolina Hurricanes. And and that was pretty short. And I figured, okay, I went to this one. Next year it'll be better. I'll be able to show a little bit more what I got. And that year I didn't get a tryout anywhere. So came back as an overager for Brent in Red Deer, and he goes, "We're going to be great. Come back, be my captain again, and you win." And he goes, "Everybody wants a winner, so let's focus on this, and we'll go." And then halfway through that year, I think it was just before Christmas, I signed an entry-level deal as an overager. So then I had 3 more years to figure out if pro hockey was going to work or not. I honestly had no idea if I was going to be good enough or would be good enough, but just worked on the small details and got confident and just played hockey really. So then starting out the next year in Philly, this is back, no salary cap, whatever. We barely even had a tryout. It was basically the Flyers were made. They had all guys on one-way contracts. So it was an unbelievable team. So we just rolled right in, and they said, okay, this is, you had probably 10 guys coming in for 7 spots on D. And I was like, all right, go to work. And ended up, playing with the Phantoms, which was great. Played out of the old Spectrum, which was an unbelievable building.
Yeah.
The practice rink was in Voorhees, New Jersey there, connected to the Flyers rink. So, we're in close proximity to the NHL guys, seeing what they're doing every day. So that was great. Having both teams that close.
And so you're in Philadelphia, then you got traded to Chicago, I think, in your third season to the Blackhawks, and that was the last year before the lockout. You finished in Chicago, played 23 games. You had like 12 points in 23 games, right? You're probably like, hey, man, this is awesome. I'm getting to play. I'm putting up some points. And then the lockout came, and you were still young enough. You were able to play in Norfolk during the lockout year. How much you think, did that, you being able to keep playing, did that make a big difference, you think, for you to come out? And then after that, you really never went back to the American League until your very last year of your career.
Yeah, I think it was really beneficial, especially that year, because you had guys that came out of the lockout and they didn't play. That year they changed a whole bunch of rules, that really affected the D-men. They got rid of the red line, the hooking and holding really ramped up, like interference and stuff like that. Like old rules was a battle. You could just latch onto a guy in the D zone and let him tow you around. Whereas, coming out of that lockout, you could barely even touch a guy when he didn't have the puck. So, being able to play a full season, most of the season, I got hurt near the end of the year, but play a full season under learning those new rules, like the referees were learning, the coaches were learning, the players were learning. So being part of that for a full year was really beneficial. So the next year when they introduced all that stuff in the NHL, the guys that played in that American League, they really hit the ground running.
Oh God, yeah. And the American League that year, there was lots of really good young players in the league. Lots of guys who played before said, "Hey, man, like it was good for me to play, but I also got to play against some better players, which helps anybody." And then then you had a really good run with the Hawks and the Flyers, the Flames, Coyotes, Oilers, and the San Jose Sharks. You look back in your career, there's not many guys who have 12+ year pro career. What's your best memory in the NHL?
Oh, there's so many, and was there for long enough that it's hard to really pin down one. But I think it was probably that first NHL game. I got called up New Year's Eve. I was in Portland, Maine. Got a ride in a van to Boston, like just some guy. Met the team in LA. Took warm up on the second, I believe, against LA, and they said, you're just taking warm up. You're not playing. Soak it all in. And what a place to do it, right? You're in LA, you got all the stars and the fans and everything like that. It was pretty cool. And then to play my first game the next day in Anaheim, that was pretty special. First 2 shifts weren't that great. I think I took 2 penalties in 2 shifts, but that's the way she goes. So just that first game was just amazing. Being on the ice, and then obviously I'd practiced a bunch with some NHL guys, but to be on the ice and play an actual full game, that was great. And then, obviously something like, my first goal was pretty special, even though, good luck finding it, but the video's not that great, but it wasn't the best goal, but take it. So I think those 2 were really, really great. And then just building the relationships with the guys, like you said, you look at the amount of teams I played for, got to know a lot more players than a lot of guys get to by bouncing around that much. But there's some unbelievable human beings along the way, and I wasn't a guy that really kept tabs and kept track and really connected with guys, but there's a handful of guys that I still talk to that, I think those relationships are pretty special.
Jim Vandermeer joins us. Jim, you're a young kid, and everybody at some point you kind of dream of maybe playing the NHL, and you don't know how realistic it is or not. But then you get there, and you look back in your career. Was there ever like one moment, whether you're on the ice or you're on the bench, and some guy did some play, and you're just like, oh my God, like this is pretty cool. Like, did you ever have those moments where you really embraced it?
Yeah, I think almost every day. You're playing with such elite players that guys will do something. You're just like, holy moly, how did that guy do that, or whatever. Like the skill level between the top guys and then like the next group of guys is so significant that it's unreal. Like it's hard to put into words and show how the guys' brains work and just how skilled some of these guys are. Like there's guys that take the whole summer off, don't touch the ice. They come out and they're just unbelievable. I go, if I take 2-3 days off the ice, I'm chopping it up and trying to figure it back out. So just stuff like that was just unbelievable. Being able to be part of that for a really long time and just enjoying it.
Well, one of those guys must have been, so you're in Chicago, and then they drafted Patrick Kane first overall. And he came to, I think it was your third year in Chicago, or maybe your fourth. And he comes in as a rookie. And I remember Patrick Kane in his heyday. I thought he was maybe the most dangerous or scary player when he had the puck on a stick in the offensive zone. He was so confident how he would kind of take it low in the corner, and then he'd circle back up to the blue line and just kind of, look when he could strike. What was your first impressions of Kane as a youngster in Chicago?
Yeah, so even back then we didn't do a whole lot of video. Like guys, looking at draft picks or scouts or whatever. But you hear this kid's going to be a special player, but he comes out on the ice and he's controlling the puck. He's doing, his passing was unbelievable in his hands. So just right off the bat, he came in and he was pretty much dominant right off the bat. So that was pretty cool to see, have a young guy come in like that. And you have some guys playing on the team that are 33, 34, 35 years old, and this young kid comes in and just runs show. It's pretty cool to see. It's pretty amazing to see how these young guys can do that.
Yeah, it is. Well, Jim, now you have the opportunity to help mold some of the young players with the Giants. Thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck this year with the Giants.
I appreciate you having me.
There you go. That's Jim Vandermeer. I'll tell you that Jim's scary, quiet, tough. Well, that whole Vandermeer family, I'm sure, that text line's already coming in with some people having Vandermeer story. They're pretty tough clan, to say the least. But you know what? Just another long list of guys, undrafted player, right? Went back, 20-year-old defenseman in Red Deer and gets to be the captain, scored 21 goals that year, had 65 points, ended up with 16 points in 22 playoff games. For goodness sakes, earned himself a contract, right? So always a reminder for everybody out there. It's not that there's so many opportunities for just because you're not drafted. Well, hey, maybe you didn't get drafted in the WHL draft this summer. It means nothing. Don't ever let her think it does. It doesn't much mean as much as you think. We'll take a quick break and hey, how to celebrate it next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's most popular casino games. From the fast-paced spins of Cash Eruption to the retro thrills of Sevens Wild, online excitement is always at your fingertips. Spin through your choice of popular slots or discover Alberta-exclusive games you won't find anywhere else. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Yeah, it's me again. And if you're sidelined with a sports injury, you already know nothing's more frustrating than being told to just rest. At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we get athletes moving sooner with our zero-gravity treadmills. You can run, train, and rebuild strength with up to 80% less body weight, so your injury heals while your confidence comes roaring back. When your sports injury's yelling, whisper back, leadingedgephysio.com, because life shouldn't hurt.
Now's the time to shop the Bricks 0% event. Get what you need today with absolutely $0 down. Pay nothing with no interest until 2028. Or choose 36 equal monthly payments on qualifying purchases. Plus, save up to 25% on living room furniture, up to 20% on dining and bedroom furniture, and up to 40% on select mattresses. Hurry into the Brick today. These incredible offers are only on until August 19th. The Brick, saving you more.
Hey, hon, I'm getting expressions and images to frame my hockey card collection in the man cave.
Perfect. I'll come with you and bring our wedding photos.
For sports memorabilia and family treasures, think Expressions and Images, your local custom framer since 91. You name it, we frame it.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Albertans love to debate the best way to enjoy summer sports.
No. Playing on the field is the best, man.
No way. Watching from the sidelines, way more relaxing.
You're both crazy. Checking out the game from the bro zone is where it's at.
But there's one thing every sports fan agrees on.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky.
Wherever you catch the action, load up on Alberta's best beef jerky.
Wilhauk Beef Jerky. Because you can't have summer fun with salad. Only available in Leduc.
Ford employee pricing is on now, and you pay what we pay on virtually our entire lineup of Ford vehicles. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Emerald Equipment. Emerald Equipment is Edmonton's newest dealer for Yanmar compact equipment. Machines built tough for the jobs that don't quit. Get your new Yanmar compact track loaders with ASV Posi Track at Emerald Equipment.
The Jason Gregor Show on Edmonton's go-to station for all things sports is Sports 1440.
Presented by Play Alberta, where Alberta wins with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app.
Here's Jason Gregor.
.248, welcome back. Thursday afternoon, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you as you make your way home. Thanks for listening. Or if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. It's always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, the Daily Grand. Every Thursday, get your tickets. You can win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years, over $7.3 million. That would be fun. At PlayAlberta.ca. Time now to get to Thirsty Thursday, brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. 2 locations, the original on St. Albert Trail and 118th Avenue, and on South Side on 50th Street, 92nd Ave. The best selection in the city for alcoholic or non-alcoholic cocktails, beers, wines, and more. Check it out. Whatever you're looking for, they will have. And if they don't have it, they'll order it in for you anywhere in the world. Check it out at Sherbrooke Liquor. Stephen Bazan joins us once again. Stevie, how you doing, buddy?
Good, Jason. How you doing?
I'm excellent. So today we're doing a little bit of a blind taste test here.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little fun today. We're gonna do a little blind taste test. I thought I would sort of tie in the past couple weeks here and wrap up our little beer series here. So last week we did super traditional beers from Europe. The week before we did some really cool modern Canadian, North American craft beers. But today I thought we would do 3 different styles. 1 beer from Old World and then 1 beer from the New World, sort of Western Canadian craft version of it. So we got 3 different styles. We'll start with a Czech Pilsner, then we'll move on to a German Hefeweizen. Those are those 2, and then we'll finish with the Belgian Golden Strong. So this is going to be, I picked like for the Old World stuff, some of the originators of the style, like it started with them. So it's a tough go for those local craft breweries here standing up against the Old World, but we'll see. So we'll taste them. I'm curious to see what your favorites are, and we'll reveal which one is which after each little pairing.
So do I have to taste the one on the right or the left first? Does it matter?
Taste the one on the left first, on the very, very left. That'll be beer number 1. So we're in the Czech Pilsner category. So Czech Pilsners started in Bohemia in the mid 1800s. This is kind of like the first original pale beer before pilsners were invented. As beer was dark and murky, inconsistent.
Yeah.
But they a German brewer went to Bohemia and developed this beer. They used really soft water, these Saz hops, which give this like floral herbal quality. So it's just like it's a classic style. But so beer number 1, you can see you could give it a little smell.
Well, dude, like it's such a traditional smooth taste, man. Like this just tastes like a beer. It's like the worst explanation.
Well, you know what? You're not off base, because it's like people just take these pale lagers for granted, and it's become, and it's really started with these Bohemian Pilsners, and then so every beer you can imagine, all the big brand name lagers, it's all sort of replicated and inspired by this original beer. So it's like when you think of beer, you can trace it right back to this Pilsner style.
No, it makes sense.
So
man.
that's like, man, it's so aromatic. You get those bready malt notes on it, a little floral, some spicy hops. But yeah, so we can move on to beer number 2. So this is also a Czech Pilsner. You can see it's a little bit,
it's a little bit
lighter in color. But you can smell it, swirl it around a little bit. Maybe a little, I'll kind of give my little tasting notes and smell as we go along too, but a little bit more subdued on the nose, I think.
It doesn't have the flavor to it. And like if you're putting those two beers side by side, I'm taking beer number 1 all day.
Taking beer number 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's reveal. So beer number 1 was in fact Pilsner Urquell, the original Pilsner.
Okay.
From the Czech Republic, from the town of Pilsen.
In the green can.
In the green
You've
can.
seen it.
Yeah. So that's the originator.
Yeah.
And beer number 2, which was actually one of my favorite locally brewed Pilsners here in Alberta, is from Tail Gunner out of Calgary.
Yeah.
And again, like a little more subdued in flavor, but they use all traditional Czech ingredients and methods and everything. And they do this decoction method. You'll see on the can, it says triple decocted Czech Pilsner, which is this very laborious, very time consuming method that Pilsner Urquell still uses. It's like you take a portion of the mash when you're brewing, you set it aside, you boil it, then you add it back in, and they do that 3 times. It's really, really hard to do, but it makes really good results. And so kind of trying side by side, you can see the Old World maybe has a little bit of an edge, but Tail Gunner makes some of the best in the province here. So
okay.
So Old World takes round number 1. We could go to round number 2 now.
Yeah, and I'm starting on the left again, right?
Yeah, starting on the left.
Okay.
So beer number 3.
And what type of beer is this?
So we're into German Hefeweizens now. So
Hefeweizens. Okay.
So Hefe can translate to yeast. Weizen is wheat. So these are unfiltered German wheat beers. The thing about this style, and I know we've talked about it before on previous episodes, it comes through in the smell for me. It's all about the type of yeast that they use. And you get this, usually get this ripe banana, cloves, kind of baking spices, but it's like really soft and almost like creamy, and just a really flavorful, very light beer. Beer number 1.
Light in definitely lighter in color than beer number 4. Which would be, but man, you know what? That's another, like, to me, that one is just sit on the patio when it's hot outside and just have a nice, if you want a little bit more flavor, like it's not a light beer, at least I'm assuming it's not a light beer.
Yeah.
And so because it's got way more flavor to it.
Big time. Yeah. And you can see it's, again, you mentioned it's lighter in color than beer number 4. We could go on to that one. So the beer number 4 is more of like a light amber color, whereas beer number 3 was a pale golden color.
Yeah.
But for me on the nose, it's a little more rich on the nose. You get like a little more of that spice and ripe banana to it. Maybe not as beer number 3 is a little more citrusy.
Yeah, they're actually quite different in how they taste.
They are very different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh, that one's tough. I might go with number 4 just because of the and honestly, I might simply go with it because I like the darker look.
You like the darker look? Yeah. And appearance is part of the experience, man. So it's if
the taste is good. They're two different tastes. It's slightly deeper flavor on the second one.
Big time. I thought there's more layers to it, definitely. So the beer that you chose is the other Old World style. So beer number 4 was the Polaner Hefeweizen from Bavaria. So the classic Polaners, they've been doing their thing since the 1600s. One of the only 6 breweries that can serve beer at the official Oktoberfest. So they are the classic example of the style. And the Western Canadian version was from Twin Sails out of Port Moody. So they're Son Hefeweizen. And to me, it was such a big difference between the two. And it goes to the methods that they use. The twin sails, they fermented at like a cooler temperature, so you don't get as much of those rich flavors. They're leaning more into the light drinkability and citrus sort of quality to it. So especially compared to the first pairing there with the Pilsner, these ones is kind of like two different beers for two different occasions. I think one was like super light and citrusy, easy drinking. The other one was more robust.
Yeah.
But
both good though. I really like those two.
Yeah, both. I really enjoyed those two.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're ready to move on.
Yeah, what
to
do we got
the,
last
the
here?
final. So we're jumping up in ABV here. These ones are around 9%. So this is the Belgian Golden Ale style, which it's sort of a newer style in terms of beer history.
Yeah.
It came to be in the early 1900s, shortly after World War I. Originated by one single brewery, and its whole deal is, so when the Czech Pilsners and German Pilsners became so popular in Europe, it started to take away some of the Belgian beer drinkers. They were going to deciding to choose the German or the Czech styles over their homeland and Belgian beers. So Belgian brewers are like, we need to make a lighter style beer, but they still kept that alcohol percentage. So they used kind of lighter malts. They were going for that easy drinkability, but the key to this one is that they hide the alcohol so well. So it's just meant to be easy drinking. But again, they're like at that 9% level.
Oh, yeah, the 9 So it's funny. A good 9%, or you don't notice it as much.
No, you don't notice it. So beer number 1, you could see, especially compared to the last beer, you get that like the foaminess is sticking around a lot longer. I poured these a few minutes ago, but still sticking around. You get that nice lacing on the glass there too.
Yep.
On the nose.
Oh my gosh,
man, it's like a little bit sweeter on the
that
nose.
one tastes like more.
Yeah, that's incredible. Like a little bit, man. It's just got so many flavors going on there. So that's beer number 5. Beer number 6, you can see the foam is dissipated a little bit, but we could jump in and take a sip.
Oh yeah, 5 all day for me.
5 all day. Yeah. And so number 5. So the old world sweeps it for Gregor. That's the Duvel. Have you had Duvel before?
I have once.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is they're the originators of the style. So they're the ones that did it back in the 1920s. And man,
It's hard to replicate, man.
It's
hard to replicate.
It's hard to replicate.
They've got the advantage. They got some experience. Can be good.
Yeah, definitely. Just tried and true methods.
Like that Duvel is.
It's
really good beer.
I mean, yeah, like I put up some of the best beer in the world up against the local guys here. So some Titans going against the underdogs. I thought maybe one would slip through and maybe the local would win, but the Hefeweizen pairing was pretty close, I thought, in terms of quality. But man, it's like sometimes you just can't beat the classics. So that Duvel was just incredible. But the beer number 6 was also, again, one of my favorite local examples of the style. So that was from Blind Man. And they did, for their 10-year anniversary, every year on their anniversary, they do a different Belgian, like a strong Belgian style. So for their 10-year anniversary, they tackled that Belgian Golden Strong, which is an extremely, extremely hard style to do because you're going for that light drinkability, but also alcohol percentage. So you need to check those and keep those in balance, but still keep all those flavors. So still like an amazingly well-made beer, but Duvel, it's hard to take down Duvel, man.
Now, do you get Finnish beers?
We don't right now. No, we do. Like Scandinavia is really tough to get any beer from there. We've had some beer from Iceland recently. And Finland has its own unique style,
like
too.
Karhu.
It's a Karhu. No, I haven't seen Karhu. We haven't had anything right from Finland, but they do this Sahti style, which is sort of native to Finland, and we've seen some local breweries try their hand at that style. But unfortunately, right now, nothing gets imported into Canada, I believe, but certainly into Alberta from Finland.
Okay.
Well,
there you
so
go.
we'll have to
we had a
keep,
few people, Ryan and guys who just drank at the World Championships called Karhu. Wow. Fortunately, man, they don't have it yet.
No, don't have it yet. We will do everything we can, though. We don't have much say in what actually gets imported into Alberta, but we do have some pull with importing agencies and stuff too. So we can chat with people who bring stuff in from Europe and see if it's ever a possibility for sure.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, buddy. I like it. Old versus new, and hey, the Wiley veterans came through today.
They came through.
All good tasting, but that Duvel,
man.
Duvel.
It's
good little.
up there.
You know what? I like the stubby glass bottle too.
Yeah, that's like a classic Belgian style bottle too. Very distinctive. Yeah, man, it's good. Good stuff.
Steve, as always, buddy, we appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful weekend.
Yeah, you too, Jason. Thanks so much.
There you go. That's a Thirsty Thursday, always brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good. For professional property services that you can feel good about, get Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, seasonal maintenance, and more. Check out hiregood.ca. Stable jobs create stable lives. Hiregood.ca.
The Sports 1440 update.
Jason, Red Sox underway. Boston leading 5-0 in the top of the 8th. Only one other game right now. Cubbies trail the Nationals 1-0 heading into the 5th. Earlier today, Pirates beating up on the Marlins 13-1. Reds get past the White Sox 9-8, and the Mariners over the Yankees 1-0. Guardians fell to the Tigers 3-0. Later on tonight, you got the Twins in Phillies in the Field of Dreams game. Angels, Rangers, while the Brewers in Los Angeles. Week 11 in the CFL season gets going tonight. Stamps and Lions from McMahon. Kickoff 7 o'clock in the NFL. You've got preseason Lions, Bengals, Steelers, Packers, Colts, Patriots. Raiders get the Cards. Chargers head to Houston, and the Niners host the Titans. Canadian running back Chuba Hubbard is sidelined now week to week with a hamstring injury. According to Carolina Panthers head coach Dave Canales, the 27-year-old is set to enter his 6th season with the Panthers after recording 734 total yards last season with 4 touchdowns. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Elks offensive lineman Noah Taylor and Adam Scully from Golf Talk Canada. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice. EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365. UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking. Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service. Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project. Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
What if you could hire motivated, safety-trained youth with no risk and funding to support you? At Careers the Next Generation, we make hiring easy with funded internships across Alberta in trades, IT, forestry, and more. Interns are WCB covered, complete high school accredited safety trained, and arrive ready to contribute from day one. With 42% of RAP students completing their apprenticeship by age 22, you get skilled workers faster. Spots are filling up. Visit careersnextgen.ca today.
Attention Alberta construction pros. For over 50 years, Jacko Equipment Rentals has been your go-to for top-notch equipment and stellar service.
Jason,
whether you
so
need
much.
rentals or expert maintenance, we've got you covered. Stop by our Edmonton or Calgary locations today.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little
Afternoon,
different.
how
Good
are
deals
you?
on new, pre-owned
this-
vehicles, good people, and a great selection. And don't forget about our employee pricing. Stop in and see us today. 13215 97th Street or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Are you a skilled laborer? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you. A heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience? All-Star Construction wants to talk to you, too. With work in and around
So
Edmonton
Kruger
for
with
local
you to
land
make-
developers, All-Star Construction offers year-round employment. Whether it's power, gas, or telecom, developers rely on All-Star Construction to get the job done. So if you're a skilled laborer or a heavy equipment operator with Traco or backhoe experience searching for work, search All-Star Construction on Indeed.
Tee up for a great day on the course and support the Stony Plain Eagles Senior Men's Hockey Club. It's the Stony Plain Eagles Golf Tournament. Gather your foursome and join the Eagles August 25th at the Links at Spruce Grove for a 2 p.m. shotgun start. Enjoy a fantastic afternoon of golf, great company, and friendly competition, all while supporting the Stony Plain Eagles. Get all the details and register today at stonyplaineagles.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. We treat pain and injuries head to toe and some other issues that might surprise you, like incontinence, vertigo, neuropathy, and cognitive issues. We invest in technology, techniques, skills, and people who know how and what to fix. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.308, we roll through Sports 1440, sports1440.ca on a lovely Thursday afternoon. Hope you are having a great day. We have coming up this hour, we'll hear from Noah Taylor will be joining us. Adam Scully will be by from Golf Talk Canada. Toronto Blue Jays. The sweep might not be happening. Now, they won the first 3 games of this series, but currently trailing 5-0 as they gave up a grand slam last inning. And they can't win every game, of course, but maybe they'll have a miracle comeback. We'll see. They've had quite a few comebacks during their recent run to at least get themselves closer to a wild card spot, but you're not going to win every game. But heck, if you keep winning series, and in this case, you win 3 out of 4, that's a pretty good one. We are going to get to some stats of the day, brought to you by All Star Construction, who have been around since 2009. They continue to grow and expand, and they are hiring. Go to Indeed.com, look up All Star Construction, anything from general laborer to a hydrovac operator and more. There's lots of opportunities. Check it out, Indeed.com, and look up All Star Construction. So some stats to get to. Imagine never losing for 15 years. I'm trying to think, has any other athlete done this? 15-year streak where you've never lost. Katie Ledecky won another international gold medal in the 1500 freestyle on Wednesday. It's over 15 years since she hasn't never lost in the 1500. Like, honestly, think about it. Now, I know it's hard when you play in sports that have way more rate. Like, obviously, there's way more games. But 15 years, never losing? Are you kidding me? That is quite the that's quite the run for her, man. Like, I don't care what anyone says, but it's pretty damn good. Another thing, as you watch Connor and Declan, you guys should pay attention to this because I know you guys like to watch every snap of NFL preseason. 25 years ago, starting quarterbacks accounted for roughly 35% of preseason passes. Right? Because, hey, you want to get ready. But that has just been a significant slide since. Last preseason, it was 9.8% of passes were by a team starting quarterback in preseason. And, that trend just continues to drop. Probably wouldn't shock me if it dropped again. Now, unless you're the Cleveland Browns. Now, I don't even know, who would even qualify as the number 1 quarterback in Cleveland right now? I don't even know. I guess they'll wait till the season, then they would use the stats after the fact. But they announced that Watson's going to start one game. Shedeur Sanders is going to start the other game. Kind of funny because people would look and say, well, they don't really have a QB1. And it's really hard to argue with that. I mentioned it earlier. not necessarily a stat, but after a 3-year hiatus, the Field of Dreams game is back at MLB tonight. 5:30 Edmonton time. It's the Twins and the Phillies, and you can watch it if you have Netflix. It is on Netflix. If the first one took place back in 2021 when the White Sox beat the Yankees. Also, PGA Tour playoffs begin today at TPC Southwind. There is a 69 golf. Now, I haven't found who's the guy who didn't make it. Who's hurt? Because 70 qualify, but only 69 are playing. And means that Jackson Koidman, he's the guy who has to play solo. I wonder if that would be better. Do you play like in the twosome, or would you rather play with yourself on the golf course? Okay. But Scheffler and Rory, they teed off early this morning. And we'll see. Basically, they're playing to keep alive in one of the 50 spots for next week. I really like this new edition of golf that they've added to their playoff format a few years ago. I kind of like it. Starts with, well, now it's 69. Usually it's 70. Then you got to play well, get into the 50, and then you go down. Then it's a final 30. I love it. I thought it just makes it a little bit more exciting for sure. I'm all over it. But I got to find out who. Cons, can you look it up? Who's not, of the 70 golfers, who's not playing today? Who's hurt that qualified? And why wouldn't they then just take the 71st golfer, put it in? So we'll see. Now, Deck, I'm going to get you to put your mic on just for fun, because we're talking stats, and I know it was announced after 18 seasons. He announced his retirement. Can you name the 7 teams Russell Westbrook played for?
Yeah, so Thunder, Rockets, Wizards. Sorry, Connor just said something and threw me off. I'm so sorry. Great. Thunder, Rockets, Wizards, Clippers, Lakers, Kings, Nuggets.
Oh, good one. Yeah. So, Cons, who is it that's not playing?
Daniel Burke had a back issue that prevented him from playing just a couple days.
Okay, so I wonder why. Well, I guess if you don't qualify, they don't open up a spot for anyone else. So now there's just one less person to compete with to see if you can make it to the final 50. So I guess it's good for the other guys. Bad for Berger. Now, where's Berger rank? Could he still be in the top 50? Or is he automatic not qualified for that? So I don't know. I'd be curious about that one. Some other news. No surprise, I mentioned earlier, Fox and Logan Jr., they're not playing this week. Joe Robustelli still not about. Well, he's on the 6th game. I think Joe Robustelli, I think I have to look back at when they put him on the 6th game. And it's not retroactive. Like, I don't love that rule in the CFL, by the way. I think that's a bad rule in the CFL. He started out in the 1 game injured for the first 3 weeks because they thought, hey, maybe he's going to play, and he never did. And then when they put him on the 6th game, it couldn't be retroactive. So he should have been the 6th game to the start and then do it again. So I don't love that rule in the CFL. Next time we have a commissioner on, I'll ask him, why can you not put guys? It's like, think about it in the NHL. You have someone on IR, because if you put them on LTIR, they're out for 24 days or 10 games, whichever comes first. Fair amount of time. But if you wait and geez, we think he'll only be out 2 weeks, and then you get to 2 weeks and realize he's not, well, then you can retroactive put him on LTIR. Helps you in cap space, but also, which is the main reason, but it's no different than the CFL. Like, you're not going to hide guys on it. I just wonder why you wouldn't consider doing it. If you're like, well, geez, this guy's maybe only 3 or 4 weeks instead of 6. So it's kind of food for thought. I think it would help teams cap space wise, and I don't see why the players would be against it. So not good. It's our stats of the day, brought to you by All Star Construction. A lot of text, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Hey, guys, not sure if you touched on it, but does Vegas lose Carter Hart this year from G? No, that suspension only involves any Team Canada events. It's all it involves. I'm not sure any of those guys are going to play for Team Canada at the World Championships or definitely at whatever they're going to call it. It's not Four Nations. I don't even think I've seen a name officially of what the event's going to be called in 2028. But So those guys who have the extended suspension, it doesn't really mean much. Like, oh, you're suspended for 26, so you can't play at the World Championships. Even if you're further, there's no guarantee any of them would have been invited or they'd want to go. So that's really all it is. You know, it has no bearing on the NHL. I'll say that as two very separate things. This is just if you want to represent your country, not representing the country. So that's what it stands for. That's it. Simple. When we come back, Noah Taylor will join us from the Green and Gold on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Thinking of growing your business? In partnership with Prairie's Can, the Alberta Chambers of Commerce is helping businesses explore new opportunities, new markets, and build connections through organized trade missions across Canada. Find the right mission for you at abchamber.ca/trade missions.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's most popular casino games. From the fast-paced spins of Cash Eruption to the retro thrills of Sevens Wild, online excitement is always at your fingertips. Spin through your choice of popular slots or discover Alberta-exclusive games you won't find anywhere else. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of CanTorque. CanTorque has always been a forward-thinking company, but now that we've turned 25, I can't help but take a minute to take a look back. Thank you to everyone that's been with us along the way.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is your #1 air conditioning company. So when you can't take living in oppressive heat any longer,
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If your hot, sticky sheets keep you up all night,
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you've decided that you deserve to be cool and comfortable,
call Legacy. Call Legacy.
And with no payments, no interest for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Ford employee pricing is on now, and you pay what we pay on virtually our entire lineup of Ford vehicles. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Whatever the job, consider it done with the Lawnmower Hospital in Ego. Top-rated brand in cordless outdoor equipment. From grass trimmers to air blowers and more. There's nothing you can't accomplish with Ego. Wet-dry vacuums, tire inflators, snow blowers, and so much more. The list keeps going and Ego keeps working. Check lawnmowerhosp.com now for stock and pricing.
The Lawnmower Hospital.
Hey there, it's Brandon Douglas from Sports 1440. I was tired of slow, unreliable internet connections, so I signed up for Starlink. It's fast, reliable even in bad weather, and has made streaming for movie nights and online gaming so much better. The summer doesn't mean a break from watching sports, and I've been streaming all the games seamlessly when at the family farm, despite the remote location. If you're ready for a better internet experience, you can order online in 2 minutes at starlink.com/radio or call 1-888-GO-STARLINK.
What if one moment changed everything? The turn of the key to your dream home, the roar of the crowd from your Oilers season seats, the trip you've always talked about. With the Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery, winning is just the beginning for you and for them. You could win the $2.4 million grand prize show home plus $100,000 cash and more incredible prizes. And every ticket makes a life-changing difference for Stollery kids and their families. Change lives. Support Stollery kids. Be mighty. Get your tickets now at mightymillionslottery.com.
Life doesn't always line up with Election Day. If you'll be away, busy, or just want to skip the line, you can vote by mail with a special ballot. No reason is required. Simply request your special ballot online, by phone, or from your local returning office. Just remember, completed ballots must be mailed to Elections Alberta and received by 5 p.m. on October 16th. So why wait? Find everything you need to get started at specialballot.elections.ab.ca. Be referendum ready. A message from Elections Alberta.
Step onto the field of dreams and into sporting glory. Join the Riverhawks Community Foundation on August 22nd for the Field of Dreams Festival at Remax Field. This isn't just any event. It's an adult baseball camp featuring former Toronto and Edmonton baseball star Devon White. Swing for the fences from 5 to 10:30 p.m. while supporting local youth sports. Upgrade to VIP for an exclusive meet and greet. Tickets are going fast. Secure your spot today at riverhawksfoundation.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by the Nation Golf Tournament, Friday, August 28th, 2026 at Millwoods Golf Course. Golf, drinks, swag, food, and fun. Every swing supports Gregor's crowds and helps graduates shine on graduation day. Sign up at nationexperiences.ca before it sells out.
The Jason Gregor Show on Edmonton's go-to station for all things sports is Sports 1440.
Presented by Play Alberta, where Alberta wins with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app.
Here's Jason Gregor.
What's the saying? If you're going to lose big. Jay's having a tough one this afternoon. 7-0 now for the Red Sox. And hey, the Jays have already won the series. Though at worst it'll be 3-1. So, but a tough matinee today for the Toronto Blue Jays. But they'll get back in action. The Yankees come to town for a 3-game set Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Also, CFL week number 11 kicks off tonight in Calgary. And I'm guessing they might have a moment of silence. Longtime beloved voice of the Calgary Flames, who the organization now owns the Stampeders, Peter Maher, passing away today. Rod and Peter Maher for years and for decades were the voice for both the Flames and the Oilers, and I had the opportunity to interview both of them numerous times over my career. Great guys, unbelievable storytellers, and each one had their very unique way of calling the games. Flame fans would tell you they love Maher. Oiler fans love Rod, as they should, and always a sad day for people when you lose someone that's kind of like the voice of your childhood or your young adulthood life. And Peter Maher passed away today. So our thoughts with everybody in the Maher family and those who worked with him for many years. He was a great guy, man. Pete was a fantastic guy. Obviously, very passionate about his team, and I would guess there'll probably be something acknowledging him tonight in Calgary. We got Ottawa, Winnipeg tomorrow. Then Toronto comes to Edmonton. 1:00 start on Saturday. Should be a great game to go to. Right now, weather's looking good. Hopefully it holds up. God, it would just be nice to have a Saturday without rain. Dare to dream, shall we say? Dare to dream, something that doesn't happen very often this summer, it seems, at least in our neck of the woods. I know in other parts of the province, it's they're not getting the precipitation that we are getting. So it could do a change now, right? I think if we didn't make a trade, you'd say, hey, we'll give you a few weeks of rain. You give us a few weeks of sun and no rain. Fair trade? Who would say no to that right now? Nobody. There's no person out there that's like, you know what? I think we need more rain. Well, maybe there is. I'm trying to think of what job or something could benefit you that much by having more rain than we've already had right now. Is there one? Can you guys, can you think of one? Because I definitely can. Hey, Greggs, I missed it earlier. What was your number on the power plays? I'm curious. That number seems almost unbelievable. So here's what I was looking it up earlier because I'd seen, reduction in goals in the NHL. Overall, like total goals in the NHL had dropped down a little bit. But power play efficiency has gone way up. But power play opportunities, here's the 5-year. So the first 5 years of the salary cap era, there was an average of 11,246 power play opportunities a year. And that's when you had a 30-team league. So there was 1,200 and 30 games in the now there's 1,312, right? So there was fewer games. And back then, but there were still 11,246 over a 5-year span. The past 5 years in the NHL, it's dropped to 7,642. Right? That's a difference of over 3,600 power play. So 3,600 fewer infractions each year in the NHL now. I don't believe it. I don't buy it for a moment. Sorry, can't get on board with it. There you go. Now, let's get to our Green and Gold report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, where the rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca. As we are joined by defensive lineman Noah Taylor. Noah, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? Good. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. A few things for you. I was talking to JC Sherritt the other day about it, and just like Noah basically forced us to have to put him in the starting lineup because he was playing so well. It's always players always talk about, hey, I want to get opportunities, and I'm going to show them what I can do. Kind of walk me through that, and what's led you to have such a good start to the season for yourself.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is just the work that I put in during the offseason. And I knew what it was going into this year, like the goals that I had set for myself. So first couple games, I wasn't getting as many opportunities as I would like, but I knew that, if I was getting one snap a game or if I was getting 50, then I was going to make the most of it. And when plays came my way, I just made them.
So you look at it, what have you learned in your young career as far as, how to maybe exploit that yard off the ball?
You got to be fast. And for me, at least, that's why I try to use my speed. And then also a lot of it is like technique and then angles. And yes, it's a lot different just because, they're definitely at an advantage because of that yard. So you got to use, other things. And, you go into the off season trying to learn other little tricks to help you get better at a game. And you could start using those to an advantage when you're out there on the field.
So how much of that is, are you a guy do you watch film specifically and look at some other rush ends, or now that you bring in Malik Carney, a veteran guy who's pretty all-star, are you over there kind of you two, picking each other's brain all the time on things that he does? Do you watch film? How does that work?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. We both have similar games, but then different in a lot of ways. So it's always good just to between him and Robbie, just there's things that Robbie does and Malik do that I want to get better at, and there's things that I do that they could use. So I think a lot of it this year for me has been learning power stuff, because everyone is always worried about my speed because I'm fast off the edge, but trying to convert that speed into power, which is what Malik and both and Robbie are good at. So yeah, it's definitely been a learning curve, but I'm getting there slowly but surely.
So yeah, take me through that a little bit more. When you talk about incorporating the power, so does that start in the gym? Do you do different workouts to get the power? What is it? Is it just, a different stance? How are you generating more power moves into your arsenal?
Yeah, obviously the weight room to start, you got to be in the weight room, but then a lot of it is also leverage. So you can take a guy who's, not necessarily the biggest, but if they're getting off the ball and they're fast and they're getting the tackle to turn his hips, then you get, 180 pounder. If the tackle's hips are turned, 180 pounder can push the tackle back into the quarterback. So it's all really just about leverage and angles.
Okay. Have you always been a student of the game, Noah, or is that something you kind of, as you've gotten older, you've learned how to use that more to your advantage and understanding the small nuances of the position?
Yeah, no, I've always been like that. You guys, high school coaches, college coaches. I've always been that guy that, you can come into the facility at 7 p.m. or 7 a.m. and you'll see me in the film room just watching just random things, whether it be NFL film or just anything to just help my game better.
Were you always a D lineman? If you look back to your younger, you must have played on both sides of the ball, I would think, at some point.
Yeah, in high school, man, I don't think there's a position on the field that I haven't played. In high school, I played corner, safety. Yeah, I played a little bit of corner. I remember there was this one game we had where they had this number one receiver, and our corner wasn't doing the best job checking him. So I asked my coach if I could guard him, and then I got an interception on the next play. And then receiver, safety, and then when I got to college, we had a lot of injuries at DB, so I played a lot of safety. I played a lot of nickel, and I played inside backer my junior year. So yeah, I've been all over the place.
So now, did you grow a little bit later, or were you always 6'4" playing that position?
As long as I can remember, I probably stopped growing like, yeah, sophomore year of high school. So I've been 6'4", 6'5" for a long time.
Okay, because not many DBs at 6'4", 6'5", right? Now you
Yeah,
obviously,
no. Well, I
yeah.
mean, I've always wanted to play safety. Like that was like my original position. So like the coverage stuff and the coverage aspects of it like really just came easy. So when things were like I might have not been the most athletic, I think I was like a very instinctual, player just because it's not that hard. Something's coming out, something's coming in, something's coming in, something's coming out. So it's, something's in front of you, something's probably behind you. So it's not that difficult, but
Noah Taylor joins us now. Gavin Meyer, yeah. So as a former DB, Noah, he's on the D line. He comes, he's got 2 picks. What's going on here? The D lineman, you guys gonna have to pick up your game here.
yeah, I know, man. Some guys just have a knack for the ball. Like when I was in college, there was this dude named Charles Snowden. He played for the Raiders, and I think he plays for the Cowboys right now. But he just has a knack for the ball. Like, he just, somehow he just finds a way around the ball, and it's fun to always be around those guys because you get obviously you're happy for them, but you also get a little jealous in a way. You're like, dang, like how does that? You know what I mean? What do you do? Who you praying to, man? Like what you doing?
Yeah, well, there is something like when you're when you played the secondary, well, you're kind of expected to get a pick every now and then. When you're a D lineman, that's not like maybe a batted ball here or there, but when you get one, it's a pretty big deal for the D lineman.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think from the D line position, I think I only had one position, like one interception in my career while playing D line. So
give me your quick thoughts on Carmine, who's going to come in. He's going to make his first start for Edmonton. You've seen him in practice a lot now. I watched him get off the ball in practice. I'm like, damn, this guy's pretty quick off the ball.
Yeah.
What have you noticed? Maybe give us a scouting report for the fans. We're going to see number 79 for the first time this week.
Yeah, no, Carmine's a baller, man. I'm excited to watch him play too. I think when it comes, and not that this is a problem, when it comes down to like everyone's an athlete, especially when you come down to pro football, like especially when you take like an American guy that come up here, like everyone's going to be good. It's just going to come down to, you know, execution and just like knowing where you're supposed to be. And if we know where we're supposed to be, like he's going to dominate. He's a really good player. So I'm excited to watch him ball out, man. He's got some bend, he's got some twitch, so it'll be good.
You guys are coming off for a defense. One of your tougher games. You've been a dominant defense all year long, and in sports, the best part is the opportunity to bounce back and regroup. You can't change the past. How has practice week gone? What's the conversations like amongst your defense, which of course has been ranked number 1 all year long, and then you had a little bit of an off game. What did you feel you were lacking as a group, and you're confident you can fix quickly for Saturday?
Yeah, it's definitely been a heightened sense of urgency, but definitely not panic. Like you just said, we were the number 1 defense going into that and still are the number 1 defense. So, it's just a few minor tweaks, like nothing to rattle and get all shaken up about. We need to change this, change that. It's just, we need to just, relax, go to practice with a heightened mindset of, locking in on certain details and just knowing who we are, just going out there and doing what we do best, which is just seeing the ball, getting the ball, and then, hitting hard.
When you watch the film, Toronto, there's no team in the league who passes more than the Argos. Like, they don't run the ball very often, Noah. So as a D lineman, how do you balance that urge to just be like, okay, man, pin my ears back because I know it's probably going to be a pass? Like, how do you cheat's probably the wrong word, but every now and then you might have to say, I think they're going to pass, and maybe you get out of position. How do you balance that when you know that 90% of the time they're passing the ball?
So I actually had this coach in college who used to tell me everything's a pass until it's not. And that doesn't mean that you don't care about the run. It's just your get off, when you get off the ball as if it's a pass, that'll help you strike and anchor down in the run more.
Okay.
So that's been something that has helped me a lot. Because if you're getting off the ball like it's a pass, and then your first step you're realizing it's a run, and then you're anchoring down, but you're getting off the ball and you're so explosive off the ball that you're still able to strike and get vertical. So
okay, well, that makes a lot of sense. Actually can help you in the run game a little bit. How much film work, when you break down Toronto, you talked about how you like to get in the film room. Do you break down the tackles a lot? Like, are you specifically looking to say, okay, here's like, their tells or not? And are you able to pick up tells on O-linemen at certain times? And can you even use that in a game, or is it too quick in a game?
Yeah, I mean, everyone has tendencies that they, whether it be strength, whether it be weaknesses, like everybody has something that you could, nitpick about them. So it's not the, most difficult thing to see, but me personally, I'll try to watch someone who I either like or who like similar to around the league. Like I've been watching the guy at Calgary. I'll always watch Calgary's game. Like if Calgary has played them, the previous couple weeks, I've always played them because I love watching number one and Flo on the other side of the ball. So those are two great players. And then as far as like the Toronto's tackles go, you watch a lot of tendencies that you try to pick up on that, I don't want to say too much here.
Yeah, no, I understand. I wasn't asking you to tell me what they are, but I'm just curious kind of if you follow the tendency and then you're in the game, because it like the snap comes and you got to react so quickly. Like I'm just trying to figure out, well, I know that the guy's going to do this. Like I know in the movies they show, oh geez, if his fingers are showing the white, that means it's a run, and all. I kind of laugh.
Yeah. Well, the beauty of it is, that's why I give defensive backs so much credit, because when I mess up, that could go for 3-4 yards. A DB messes up and it's a touchdown. So you try to, obviously you try to watch as much film as possible so you can, be prepared for the game. So that way, it's like second nature. So when I see something, I'm not second guessing myself and I'm just going after it and attacking it. So
Kelly's a guy like, I want to ask you as a D lineman, I'm not sure I've seen a quarterback chirp as much as Alexander does in Montreal. He's pretty chatty for a quarterback. And I'm kind of like as a D, and I know that you can barely touch quarterbacks nowadays, it seems, but is it more infuriating when the quarterback chirps? Because damn, like I can't even it's gonna have to be the utopian scenario for me to really get a hit on him.
Yeah, that, and also, I mean, it's not really much like one-on-one that's going on with the quarterback. Like I gotta beat the tackle before I even worry about you in the first place. So I guess when you're out in space, you running them down, but I mean, there's not a quarterback that's faster than me, so I'm not too worried about it.
Noah, what are you doing away from football? What are your interests?
I actually recently started playing Assassin's Creed, the Odyssey, because I went to go watch the movie.
Okay.
The Odyssey, and so I recently downloaded that game, and I've honestly been addicted for the past month. So I'll be playing that as soon as we get done here.
So now, I've never played the game. Is it a solo game or do you play it the teammate?
Yeah, no, it's a campaign. It's a campaign game. I also have a girlfriend, so she'll come home. We'll cook and chill and stuff. So
okay, now who's the cooker?
Honestly, we probably split it. It depends on what we're cooking. Like if it's last night we did steak, and I like making a steak, so I'll do the steak. Okay. The day before we had this ground beef, sweet potato thing, which was her thing. So
all right,
yeah.
So, well, now we had Carney on the show, and he was telling me that he's really into cooking. He's like quite the chef.
Oh yeah, he is. Yeah.
Has he invited you over? Has he cooked for you yet?
He did make us we had a D-line dinner thing grilled the other day, and he made probably the best beans that I've ever had. It was really good. Yeah. So I think that's probably the only thing I've had from him.
Okay. Well, yeah, you got to keep bugging him because like he said, he loves cooking. So anybody, I love eating, so we should probably hang out. So that's your line. That would work out. So, well, Noah, thanks so much for joining us, man. We appreciate it. Continued success, and hope you get back on the winning track on Saturday.
All right. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Have a good one.
You betcha. You too. There's Noah Taylor having a great start for the green and gold, and they look to get back on the winning side of things, taking on Toronto, 1:00 on Saturday afternoon down at Commonwealth Stadium. Ticket sales going good again. My understanding is already up over 21,000, and there's always a good walk-up crowd. So keep it going. Should be another good crowd for Saturday afternoon football between the Elks and the Toronto Argonauts. We will take a quick break. We got Adam Scully. What are we talking? We're talking playoffs, baby, because they're on, and we'll discuss it next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
It's dollar drink summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees at participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Kickoff is coming August 15th. Elks, Argos at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. It's Family Day presented by Goodwill Industries of Alberta. Youth 17 and under get in free for an early afternoon contest. Conditions apply. Tickets and info at goelks.com/tickets.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Car shopping sucks. That's right. Going back and forth 100 times just to get a price. Give me your credit card for a test drive. What's all these extra fees? That sounds ridiculous. At Northgate, we do things a little differently. Good deals on new, pre-owned vehicles, good people, and a great selection. And don't forget about our employee pricing. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Do you know why people love working at GS Construction? It's honest work. It's work that needs to be done. And we're really good at what we do. That's why GS Construction has been in business for over 50 years. We won't be wearing a top hat and tails, more like hard hat and boots, because we're heading underground to keep the water flowing in and out of your homes and businesses in Edmonton. GS Construction is currently looking for experienced pipe layers and top men. Visit gsconstruction.ca/careers today.
Edmonton's only 24-hour-a-day sports radio station can be heard anytime, anywhere. Sports 1440 is streaming on your phone, your tablet, your computer. Download an app today and listen to Sports 1440.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Here's what you need to know about Lux Windows. We work hard. We come in early, we stay late, we go above and beyond. And then we go a little further. Not for awards or a pat on the back. We work hard so that choosing our windows and doors is an easy decision for you. It's the Alberta way. It's the Lux way. Everything we are is windows and doors. A company born and bred and made in Alberta.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also an excellent variety of non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.45, welcome back. Jays streak is over. They lose today to the Red Sox 7-0. They were replaying the game on the grand slam that made it a 1-0 to a 5-0 game. There was multiple defensive errors that led to it, which is kind of similar to last night's game when the Jays won. It's 1-0, and Contreras drops that pop fly, which people are like, oh, infield fly. No, it's not an infield fly because it landed foul, but he should have caught it. It's right there. He didn't catch it. And Toronto ends up scoring 5. So, you know what? When a team gives you an extra out, sometimes 2 extra outs, you got to take advantage of it. And I'll give them credit. They did that. Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca as we are going to get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Spruce Grove Saints. Hockey season's back upon us, and maybe need an extra camp. You're just, Dad, Mom, I want to get into another camp. Well, they got a few spots left in their Saints camp that runs on the 24th to the 28th of August. U9, U11, U13, U15. Sign them up at sgsaints.ca. And playoffs began today in the golf world and PGA on the men's side. Adam Scully from Golf Talk Canada joins us once again. Adam, welcome back to the show, my man. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I really love, like, this format hasn't been around that long, but I just think it's awesome. Like, playoffs in any sport, like golf is always, you play well, you get paid, no question. But just having the playoff format now, it drops down to 70, then it goes to 50 and 30. I just think it adds a lot more to it than just, cumulative add up the points at the end of the year. As somebody who's much more into golf than I am, do you like it? Is it better, or is it, I prefer the old one?
I kind of like it. I think it used to be top 125, right? So more guys would make the playoffs, and it was 4 playoff events. And they've really tinkered with the format. It used to be, for the first couple of events, the points were quadrupled. So one year back in 2008, a journeyman by the name of Heath Slocum won the first playoff event. He was 124th in the FedEx Cup standings. He leapfrogged all the way to 4th. It's great that the top 70 make it. It's a bit of a sprint from here. And the format reportedly is going to keep changing. PGA Tour CEO Brian Rolap spoke about the possibility of match play being incorporated come 2028. So I think that would be really cool, because match play isn't on the schedule now on the PGA Tour. Just imagine a Rory McIlroy or Scotty Scheffler or Xander Schauffele or whoever going toe-to-toe against someone else, one of the top players in the world, for a large sum of money. I think that'd be must-see TV.
That would be unreal. Give me your thoughts. I don't know how much of his round you got to watch today, but we're in the playoffs, and Robert McIntyre, oh my God, he was hacking it around. He's looking like a schmuck like me. 12 over through in round 1 today. He's 8 strokes worse than anybody else in the field.
You know what? It happens sometimes. I'll be honest that I didn't see any of it with my own eyes. But looking at the scorecard, it was colorful. Put it that way. Some double bogeys, some bogeys. I believe he was 6 over in his last 4 holes. And you and I have been there, Jason. Sometimes you're faltering down the stretch. It is reportedly around 100 degrees Fahrenheit in Memphis today, so hydration is key. Perhaps Bobby Mack didn't have enough fluids in him. Maybe he ran out of steam. Rory McIlroy, same thing. He finished bogey double in his round. 4 over par. Rory McIlroy's first round since the Open Championship.
Yeah, it wasn't great. Like McIntyre started like I did. He had a par where I'm like, oh, great. Then he went bogey, double, bogey, double. And I'm like, oh God, 8 over. Like that was... I think a lot of our listeners can relate to that. You're mixing in a 6, then he had a hockey stick, which is never good on the scorecard. You don't love that one at all. But the Canadians, of course, we're always interested to see where they are. Nick Taylor, of course, the best at 1 under, and him and Corey Connors, they got a little bit of work to do to get into the top 50 for sure. Do you know, like, where do they have to finish to ensure, like, they just got to be in the top 50, right? So they got to have a pretty good finish. Like, they both got to finish top 20 this week to get in. Would that be fair?
So Nick Taylor for sure is solo 10th or better. I believe Corey Connors is T14 or better. That's where they have to finish at a minimum to get into the BMW Championship next week. Sudarshan Yalamaraju, who is the top Canadian right now, that wouldn't have been on our bingo cards at the start of the year. The rookie played great out of the gates. He's missed 4 of his last 5 cuts, but he was the highest ranked Canadian coming in to the week at 57th in the FedEx Cup standings. He's got to finish somewhere around 16th this week. And at last check, Nick Taylor still on the golf course at 1 under, Yalamaraju at even. Corey Connors was 3 over par early in his round. He grinded his way to finish 1 over on the day. But for the Canadians, it's been a weird year. Right? Yeah. The 3 guys who made the playoffs combined, they had 5 top 10s combined for the year. Yeah. Nick Taylor, Corey Connors only had 1 each. Maybe we've been spoiled over the last couple of years, seeing Canadians have much better success on the PGA Tour. Canadians are doing great on other tours, LPGA Tour, Ladies European Tour, Corn Ferry Tour, PGA Tour Americas, just not on the PGA Tour right now.
Yeah, but you mentioned Sudarshan. Young guy. I'm not going to say it came out of nowhere but for a non golf aficionado like myself, I'm just like, hey, where'd this guy come from? But because to do what he did, like finish 57th as a rookie is pretty damn impressive, because I don't know if there was any expectations of anything like that from him this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So his real coming out party, if you will, was the T5 at the Players Championship back at TPC Sawgrass in March, where, yeah, that tie for fifth finish. Maybe he's run out a bit of steam the last couple of weeks, missing 4 of the last 5 cuts, but a couple of those were just by one shot. And he's someone who learned the game on YouTube. Yeah, watching videos of Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy. Hasn't had a swing coach. He's just watching video on YouTube, and look where he is. He's very level-headed. He's very even-keeled. He never gets too high. He never gets too low. He's a tall lefty. He hits it a mile. So it's been a really cool year for him to make it to the playoffs, which is huge. Top 50, you get to control your schedule a little more come next year. So I'm sure the motivation will be high for young Sudarshan to make it to the top 50.
When you look at it and you say, okay, no swing coach, you think eventually he'll incorporate a swing coach?
Probably, honestly, as you know, whether you're you or myself or any weekend warrior watching this, or you're the top-ranked player in the world, sometimes that one swing thought is not going to work, right? Yeah. And being a tall, lanky guy like Sudarshan Yelamaraju is, big levers, hits it a very long way. I'm sure at some point a swing coach will come into the mix. You remember Tiger Woods in his prime, he totally flipped the switch. He went from Butch Harmon to Hank Haney, Chris Como, Sean Foley. He's been through the Rolodex of swing coaches. And so if the top-ranked player in the world in his prime can do it back in the early 2000s, just about anyone can.
Talking golf with Adam Scully, of course, round 1 today, the first round of the playoffs in the at the FedEx St. Jude Championship. Michael Thorberson, as well as Jordan Spieth, Kurt Kitayama, Jake Knapp, and Michael Kim. Kim's still on the course, are all at 5 under. Then you got Tommy Fleetwood and a few others at 4 under. Scotty Scheffler has such a high bar, but when you're the greatest player in the game, there's always going to be a high bar. I don't matter what the sport is. He had an okay year, but he didn't win, right? He hasn't won yet, so it's not that good of a year. What's been the difference for him? Like, outside of missing a 2-foot putt in the playoff, which I still can't believe he did. How would you assess Scheffler's season?
Yeah, it's been puzzling, right? So he actually won his first start of the season back in January. So he does have one win early in the year that many people forget because it was so early in the year. But since then, it's been puzzling. 5 runner-up finishes, 11 top 10s, first in strokes gained total, first in scoring average, first in birdie average. His stats are actually better than they were last year. So I think it's been a case of the golf gods giveth, the golf gods taketh. A couple weeks ago in a runner-up finish, he was 22 under par and came in second. Many other years, you're going to win, right? And then you think of like the Masters as another example. Didn't have his A game through the first 36 holes and nearly came back and won. Runner-up finish to Rory McIlroy. So I'm fully expecting Scotty Scheffler to win one of these 3 playoff events. He's only 3 shots off the lead now. The strokes gained approach numbers, yeah, they're a little worse than they've been the past 3 seasons on the PGA Tour. He's been first, now he's 11th. Ho-hum, he's really dropped in the strokes gained approach numbers. He's been so much fun to watch, and I just think he hasn't gotten the breaks this year that he's had in years past.
Adam, DeChambeau spoke yesterday about, should be able to play on both tours. We're hearing rumblings that John Rahm is going to leave LIV at the end of this season. And, LIV has said, we found another donor who's going to help prop up the league. So we'll have to see. But let's say it folds, right? And it's done. Do those guys just automatically come back to the PGA? What do you think is going to happen there?
Well, some of those guys had a chance to come back. When Brooks Koepka came back, the PGA Tour came out with this return to play policy for select players, and that was Bryson DeChambeau, John Rahm, and Cameron Smith, and they all said, "Nuh-uh, I don't want it." So, which is now hindsight, of course. They all thought they'd have investors for LIV, and they all thought they'd make all the money they were promised. Who knows what's actually going to happen in that regard? But for some of the lower level players on LIV, that's where it's fascinating. Do they try to play some other tours to try to qualify and play their way up? Do they even want to do that? Are they older players like an Ian Poulter or a Lee Westwood? Maybe they'll just say, check, please, I'm good. I've had a good career and I'm done. But for Bryson specifically, he has been quoted as saying, yeah, like you were saying, the chance to play both tours. I mean, Bryson tried to sue the PGA Tour back when this all started. Like, if you're someone on the PGA Tour, with all due respect to the notoriety that Bryson has, the viewership, why would you want him back? As a golf fan, I would love him back. We all want to see the best players in the world play together more often. And he's a loose cannon on the golf course. He's incredibly selfish and immature sometimes. Think back to the Open Championship when he held the entire field back because of this one ruling saying, well, you know, I might not play tomorrow. I'm taking my cake, eating it too. See you later. And then, of course, he did play. So that's where I'm really curious about Bryson. For Rahm, he went over to live after winning the Masters. I think he's way more respected amongst his peers. He's kept a relatively low profile going over to live. He hasn't run his mouth too much to the media, whereas Bryson really just says anything on his mind. He even said that he would just play YouTube golf, and that's all he would do. But it'd be kind of hard to qualify for big tournaments and majors for a couple of years anyway if you're only playing YouTube golf. The last I checked.
Yeah, I think that would be it would be challenging. Like, I think if Liv folds, because once they're out of the picture, it's probably easier to say, okay, you know, we'll accept them back. Because I think most golf fans would say, hey, I'd rather have the best players on the tour.
Yeah. And yeah, you want the best players playing together more often. And during the first couple of years, I guess, or first couple of majors, you could say golf kind of felt like tennis in a way, where the best players were only playing at the majors, and at tennis, it's the slams for the most part. And that's not good. There's this kind of weird awkwardness between PGA Tour players and live golfers. And Brooks Koepka has broken that a little bit when Patrick Reed comes back to the PGA Tour. I mean, he's Patrick Reed. He's not the most liked guy, whether you're PGA Tour, live, or whatever tour you support. That's going to be something that I'm sure Brian Rolapp, the PGA Tour CEO, is going to look at with his staff, saying, hey, you know, who do we actually want back? And for those who want to come back, is there going to be some sort of suspension still? Do they have to try to Monday qualify? Do they only get X amount of starts, not a signature event? Like Brooks Koepka this year, he had to try to play his way into signature events. There were a couple of events where he was one of the first alternates, and he was just seen chilling by the putting green, hoping someone would WD so he can go out and play, right? So it's as it's been in the golf world since that fateful day a couple of years back when Liv came into the fold. It's been a fascinating time.
Next week today, in fact, the CPKC Women's Open will be right here in Edmonton at the Royal Mayfair Golf Club. And of course, I know Brooke Henderson, who currently is the number 11 ranked golfer in the world on the women's side. You know, Nelly Korda kind of dominating over everybody else right now. But after that, it's, you know, you got Thetical, who's pretty good, and, you know, then a host of others. Brooks obviously still one of the more dominant women in the world, and you know, has played well in Canada before. Like this, for any of our listeners who are thinking about going, what do you recommend they do when they get there to watch that tournament live?
Yeah, absolutely. I did a couple interviews this week that we're going to air next week on our show. One of them with one of the top Canadians coming up on the women's side. Her name's Anna Huang. She's now the 43rd ranked player in the world. She's 17 years old, and she's won 4 times on the ladies European tour already. The youngest player to do that. She actually beat world number 6 Charlie Hall down the stretch last week. So I go out and try to watch her first and foremost. I also spoke with tournament director Brian Newton, who was at Royal Mayfair, and the rink hole is going to be pretty special by the 17th hole. That's the rink hole this year, 185-yard demanding par 3. There's a couple really good fan villages. The build out apparently is massive. 60 of the top 100 ranked players in the world are all in the field. But I mean, Brooke Henderson is the defending champion. She won last year, close to where I am right now in Mississauga, which was amazing to see. And in majors, the last 2 majors, or 2 of the last 3 majors, I should say, T3 or better. She's coming in with a hot hand. it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And apparently as well, the rough, well, it's thick at Royal Mayfair as we speak.
Oh, yeah. Now, tell us a little bit about Anna Wang. Of course, you mentioned 17 years of age. She's already won 4 times on the European Tour. That's crazy. What, 17 years of age, and, what do you like most about her game, and where she can go from here?
It's the level-headedness that everyone at Golf Canada, all the development team, that they really preach. And I've been fortunate to go to some events. It's called Train Like Golf Canada. And instead of going out and playing around to golf with some aspiring young professionals coming up, you actually do some drills with them, whether it's chipping, putting, mental game, fitness, stretching, nutrition, the works. And you see the development that Golf Canada is putting into these athletes. And Anna Wang being one of those. Imagine being 17 years old, playing overseas, playing in a bunch of different time zones, and having the success that she has had. It's been a lot of fun to watch. But for her game, she's not afraid to make birdies, and she's not afraid to make eagles as well. Last week in London on the 18th hole, she eagled it all 4 days, and she went out and won this thing. So she's not afraid of the moment. Now climbing to 43rd in the world, only playing in Europe, which is impressive in itself. I wouldn't be surprised if she contends next week.
Wow, it would be great to see, right? Something to watch out for. Anytime it's in Canada, there'll be lots of Canadians playing it, which it makes it even a little bit more fun. So obviously, Brooke Henderson, I think, will have a real large following. Any reason, like, why do the Korean and Japanese women? Now, I know obviously, Korda right now is great. Is probably she is the best women's player in the world, but the Koreans and the Japanese have really kind of dominated on the women's side for a long time. And when we're talking overall numbers, right? Like, there's still good individuals, Henderson and Korda and others, but why are those two countries on the women's side so much better at producing a deeper pool right now?
It's got to be something with development, right? And the thing that's really fascinating is on the women's game, they've dominated. On the men's game, it's not really on the same level, right? Like even Haydon Yu, who has won 2 majors this year in the span of 4 weeks, by the way, really coming out of nowhere. That's what's been really impressive. Even the days, the early 2000s of Sairi Pak, who's a Hall of Fame level player. It's the development that's being done on that side of the pond. It's so impressive to watch. I wish I had a better answer for you, Jason. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure why there's so much depth in that market for sure. It's been so much fun to watch it. The thing I'm just most curious is why there aren't as many playing well in the PGA Tour.
Yeah, fair question. Well, are you guys coming in for the LPGA Championship next week?
I won't be. I'll be on the desk hosting SportsCenter here, but you'll be seeing Bob Weeks. You'll be seeing Kara Wagland, and I'm not sure which camera operator is with them next week, but they're going to have a blast. I'm going to have a bit of FOMO that I'm not there with the team, but it's going to be a great week at Royal Mayfair.
Awesome, Adam. Thanks so much for this, man. We appreciate it. Have a great day.
Thanks for having me.
There you go. That's Adam Scully from Golf Talk Canada. And yes, the women's tour is coming to Edmonton a week today. Recommend get some tickets, man. There's some good tickets. It's great golf. We have our guys' golf trips for out of town next weekend, but I've seen it in the past, man. And it is you see professional golfers and just seeing how they hit the ball. It's unreal to see it up close. It's great. So I would highly recommend checking it out. Take a quick break. We come back. We got the round table with Connor and Declan. But first, let's get to the Con Man and Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Sean Cunningham of Remax Real Estate. Get the home team advantage for your next move in the Edmonton area. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call or text Sean directly, 780-265-0165. He'll take great care of you.
The Sports 1440 update.
Jays couldn't complete the sweep over the Red Sox, falling 7-0 earlier today. Up next for Toronto will be a weekend set with the Yankees, who fell to the Mariners 1-0. Elsewhere, it was the Reds over the White Sox 9-8. Pirates beat up on the Marlins 13-1. And the Tigers blanked the Guardians 3-0. One game going on right now. Nationals lead the Cubbies 6-0 in the 8th. Later on tonight, you got the Twins and Phillies from the Field of Dreams field. Also, Angels, Rangers, Brewers, Dodgers. CFL Week 11 kicks off tonight from Calgary. Stamps and Lions set to get going at 7 o'clock from the NFL. 7 preseason games, including Lions, Bengals, Steelers, Packers, Colts, Patriots, Raiders, Cards, and the Texans hosting the Chargers. Canadian running back Chuba Hubbard sidelined week to week with a hamstring injury per head coach Dave Canales. 27-year-old entering his sixth season with the Panthers after recording over 730 total yards last season with 4 touchdowns. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Anderson of the Associated Press to talk some Las Vegas Raiders. We'll ask 5 questions and get to the roundtable. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Wow, get ready for a Shelly hockey fan. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at ewell.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
They are nice.
Jay's streak is over.
Tasting just so right. You can order noodle at noodle.ca. Delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order noodle at noodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order noodle.ca. Noodle noodle.
Your all-access pass to the world of sports is Edmonton's only sports radio station.
From pre- and post-game hockey shows to in-depth analysis from your favorite commentators, the action never stops on Sports 1440.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is serious about cooling. In fact, we offer multiple ways to cool your home. So you better
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
If you're looking for traditional air conditioning, we got you.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Or ask us about a heat pump to help you heat and cool.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Cool with AC or cool with a heat pump. Cool your home with Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Your weekend hotspot is at On the Rocks.
Party with Edmonton's best bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And we got them all.
From the Barkells to Tallboy, Radioactive, Curves, the Brute Squad, Morningwood, Roxilla, Punch Buggy, and more.
Plus, the guy who keeps the party going every weekend. DJ Kenny K on the ones and twos, live.
Get ready to have a good time this weekend.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Just West Brab and 118th.
Ford employee pricing is on now, and you pay what we pay on virtually our entire lineup of Ford vehicles. Visit your Alberta Ford store today.
Step onto the field of dreams and into sporting glory. Join the Riverhawks Community Foundation on August 22nd for the Field of Dreams Festival at Remax Field. This isn't just any event. It's an adult baseball camp featuring former Toronto and Edmonton baseball star Devon White. Swing for the fences from 5 to 10:30 p.m. while supporting local youth sports. Upgrade to VIP for an exclusive meet and greet. Tickets are going fast. Secure your spot today at riverhawksfoundation.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Ewell, helping you finish your electrical project is their goal. From pot lights to electrical panels, the gear you need is at ewell.ca or in person at one of their Edmonton area locations. Ewell.ca, your partners in power.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Declan Kruger with you on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, your only place in Alberta where you can shop for lottery, live dealer, instance, sports, casino, and more in one shop at PlayAlberta.ca. Also, while you're there, you can check out the Jason Gregor Show odds boost specials for you. We got everything in NHL, CFL, NFL, little outrights already for the NHL as it's getting closer to the season. So get involved. Good luck at PlayAlberta.ca. It's time now to get to the round table brought to you by Go Auto. you're looking for a vehicle, you know where to go. GoAuto.ca. They have over 17,000 to choose from. Find your ride. GoAuto.ca. Declan Kruger starts things off today.
All right, this stems from yesterday and 5 questions when you guys were talking about Russell Westbrook and his retirement. And I'm not sure if I loved what I heard when it came to his all-time rankings. I think you guys had him somewhere in the mid to late 60s. And I think, listen, not without his warts, surely, but I think I would be hard-pressed to sit down and think of even 50 players better than Russell Westbrook. And he might even be higher than that. I think that's being a little disingenuous. Like, one of 36 players ever to win MVP. He's 14th all-time in scoring, 4th all-time in assists. He is one of only 2 players with 25,000 points and 10,000 assists, the other being LeBron. You look at even some of the point guards he's compared to. He's got 4 top 5 MVP finishes. That's as many as John Stockton, Isaiah Thomas, Gary Payton, and Jason Kidd combined. And then obviously the icon status and what he did as a 6'3" point guard that we didn't think anyone was ever going to do. So I thought his ranking from the two of you was a little too low. I think he deserves to be talked about a little more fondly.
Yeah. Hey, I looked into it. There's 4,900 players that have placed them up in the NBA. Got into the crazy stat.
4,901 after me next season.
Pretty well. LeBron James had played with 35% of them. Vince Carter in 2024, that was when the article came out, had played with 37%. That's crazy to me. Hard for me to argue. I know you're an NBA historian. You like to go back and look at these sorts of things and really dig into it. I think being in the 60s of 4,900 is pretty damn good. Obviously, it's going to be subjected to going through all these players. And, I brought up an article from 2005 here looking at these players. You got Pistol Pete, where, how does he compare to those going through eras, things like that sort. You did bring up the MVPs, but Steve Nash has 2 MVPs. So I always, I know you're not the biggest Steve Nash guy, despite the fact that you modeled your game after him. I mean, how much can we weigh, one season where you have a really good run there? I don't know. I would be willing to listen to your argument because you are such a huge fan of basketball. You know so much about the game going back into, like the 60s. I'd listen to it, but I'd still have him, 50s, 60s. That's kind of where I put him for me personally.
I think it's always risky to use point totals as a comparison because the NBA scores way more points now. Games used to be 87, 85 on a regular basis. And we're go back and look at some of the Chicago Bulls scoring, right? If you look at percentage of points that Michael Jordan was scoring for his team, it's not even comparable for today. Like the game's opened up. There's way more 3-pointers that's allowed. And, I don't have to be a mathematician to figure out if I'm taking 500 3-pointer, even if I'm only hitting on 30% of them, I'm getting 1 more point every time than me and 30% of my shots on the field. So it's going to influence it. It's no different than passing yards for quarterbacks in the NFL. The NFL has become such a more pass-happy league. All the guys in the last 2 decades, everyone's going to, they were way better. Well, no, they didn't hand the ball off as much. So they got the opportunity. But does that mean the guys from the past couldn't have scored? I look at some other guys and say, hey, could they have scored as many points if they played now? Probably. My biggest thing was Westbrook's a hell of a player. I never got that he was a difference maker in crunch time. That's what amongst the elite greats. Is he a really good player? Yeah. When you're in the top 3% of NBA players, it's still pretty darn good. I wouldn't have many higher.
On to the next one.
Yeah.
All right. Sure. This was just kind of a story that I saw yesterday and I kind of threw me off a little bit. I don't think it's gotten too much discussion so far on the station. So I wanted to bring it up just with the Canadian Elite Basketball League. The news yesterday that it was set to be a best of 3 series between Brampton and Winnipeg. But unfortunately yesterday before the game got going, condensation on the court in Brampton. Yeah. The league makes a decision, then rather of having a best of 3 series, they just scrap it. Hey, we're going to do 1 game on Saturday and let that determine the championship, which, hasn't really been the way in basketball. It's not the way in hockey. We know how they do it in the NFL, of course. But I kind of thought it was kind of lame. Like, you have this issue pop up. You were set to do a 3-game set. That's great for having, people in the seats, making some money that way. Why not just, if this is an issue that cannot be corrected very quickly, because game 1 was supposed to be Wednesday, it was going to be Friday or Saturday, Sunday for games 2 and 3. Why not give it a day to try to fix it before rushing to do this? I didn't think there was a huge rush to make the decision. And if you couldn't correct it, could you not just shift the series potentially to Winnipeg and make sure you get all 3 games? I don't like this decision by the CEBL. I thought it was a little bit rushed. Obviously, we're not going to know all the details as of yet. We're behind the scenes, or we're not behind the scenes. But I don't like the decision by the league. I want to get your guys' thoughts as well.
Yeah, we talked about this very briefly, and you, I think, used the phrase Bush League, and this is kind of what it screams to me. Like, I don't know how you can have a scheduled 3-game series, then all of a sudden just check down to 1 game. Like, first of all, disingenuous to the staff and the team, the players, all that, but disingenuous to the fans as well. And then I think there is something to be said for, like, I don't want to get too harsh with it, and maybe this is me overstepping my bounds a little bit, but like being taken seriously as a league. Like, you know what the NHL doesn't do? When the Zamboni's broken, turn it into a 5-game series. Like the NBA, same. You know what I mean? So I understand this isn't at the level of those leagues, but to have this happen and for this to be their response, it also just seems like, hey, let's take the easiest way out from our point of view. You know what I mean? Like, well, we won't do anything to, favor these players or favor these fans. This is what makes it easiest for us. Let's take that route. And I don't think that's the best way to go about things.
It's a stunning decision. For me, the league originally, remember the playoffs when it first started were never in the town of the best team, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Grey Cup. So NFL, there's championships that aren't played in the city of the best team in the regular season, or even the team that won its way to the final. So that's not new. You could do it. It would be, to me, the Winnipeg option makes the most sense, Cons, right? Because at least now, because if you moved it to a neutral zone site, that'd be harder. And hey, I get that it takes away the home court advantage for the home, but that is better than a 1 game. Because I'm like, well, if you're going to play 1 game, why can't you play 3? Like, are they on that quick of a turnaround timeline? Do these players do some of them have European contracts that they have? That'd be my only question to look at. But yeah, I don't love it at all. I was stunned when I read that. I'm like, what? I mean, you go from 3 to 1.
Yeah, and the series was going to shift to Winnipeg either way for games 2 and 3. So you're already going there. You assume they're fine. And I thought about that too, Gregor. Like, could it be these players are leaving Monday morning? I don't know. That seems a little crazy, Dick. I don't know if you know when the NBA's or the European leagues start up.
Seems like a quick turnaround.
Because typically they come over after the season.
Yeah.
So and they're late to the CEBL. So yeah, it just seemed weird to me. Like, just go play 3 games, have it Saturday, Sunday, and Tuesday.
Yeah, like you were going to play 2 games in Winnipeg. So technically they had the home floor advantage anyway.
Yeah.
So now you would just have it for 3. Like, is it ideal? No, but I think it's a better option than the one they picked. I don't have much debate on that. We'll try to get someone from the league to discuss it, but it's just not a good look for the league. That's all. Like, I don't think it's going to impact them significantly, but anytime, and I think Declan was right, anytime that you give the perception that you're not going about it professionally, people then, you open the door for them to snicker, right? Even if your league is well above it in lots of other things, you're giving them that opportunity to do it. So I would try to do my best to avoid giving them that easy, low-hanging fruit ammunition that now they're going to have. So, yeah, I love that you brought that up, Cons, because it's a very just odd decision that doesn't, like, why couldn't you have just flown out right away? Okay, now we're going to Winnipeg. We're going to play 3 games there.
Yeah. Of all the options, this seems like the worst.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
I mean, they could have done a dunk contest. That would have been worse, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes, that's true. Cons, smart. That would have been worse. Much worse. Much worse. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Take a quick break. We'll come back. Mark Anderson will join us. We got KK. We got Jamie Thomas coming up. We go around the NHL. Busy show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Tee up for a great day on the course and support the Stony Plain Eagles Senior Men's Hockey Club. It's the Stony Plain Eagles Golf Tournament. Gather your foursome and join the Eagles August 25th at the Links at Spruce Grove for a 2 p.m. shotgun start. Enjoy a fantastic afternoon of golf, great company, and friendly competition, all while supporting the Stony Plain Eagles. Get all the details and register today at stonyplaineagles.com.
Harley-Davidson of Edmonton is turning up the heat for their annual garage sale and swap meet. Catch the Twin West Crew Stunt Team live for 2 massive shows packed with smoke and fire. Plus, score huge deals on parts, gear, and clothing. Check out artisan vendors, local riding groups, and grab a bite at the food trucks. August 15th, 10 to 3 at Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail. Locally owned and operated since 1980. Find more at hdedmonton.com.
Get your early morning going with the sports stories Edmonton actually cares about. Catch Tom Gazzola weekday mornings from 7 to 11 on Sports 1440. Edmonton sports leader. Don't just listen. Join the conversation at 833-401-1440.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
Wondering what you can afford?
Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure,
No awkward convos.
just quick answers on your budget and payments.
Bad credit? No credit? We got you.
Text CHECK to 780-777-7777.
That's check to 780 all sevens.
Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
I missed one payment, then another. Now I feel behind on everything. I can't keep up.
Falling behind happens to more people than you think, but there is a solution. My name is Parveen Middleton. I'm a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO here in Edmonton. Together, we can create a plan that fits your situation and helps you get caught up and back in control. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book your free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
What if one moment changed everything? The turn of the key to your dream home, the roar of the crowd from your Oilers season seats, the trip you've always talked about. With the Stollery Children's Hospital Foundation Mighty Millions Lottery, winning is just the beginning for you and for them. You could win the $2.4 million grand prize show home plus $100,000 cash and more incredible prizes. And every ticket makes a life-changing difference for Stollery kids and their families. Change lives. Support Stollery Kids. Be mighty. Get your tickets now at mightymillionslottery.com.
Tap into the fun of Play Alberta's most popular casino games. From the fast-paced spins of Cash Eruption to the retro thrills of Sevens Wild, online excitement is always at your fingertips. Spin through your choice of popular slots or discover Alberta-exclusive games you won't find anywhere else. Visit playalberta.ca/Gregor to learn more. That's playalberta.ca/Gregor. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, use your game sense.
Now's the time to shop with the Bricks 0% event. Get what you need today with absolutely $0 down. Pay nothing with no interest until 2028, or choose 36 equal monthly payments on qualifying purchases. Plus, save up to 25% on living room furniture, up to 20% on dining and bedroom furniture, and up to 40% on select mattresses. Hurry into the Brick today. These incredible offers are only on until August 19th. The Brick, saving you more.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation. Check out the elksnation.ca, a podcast, articles, and more breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth W football coverage, elksnation.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by playalberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
426 on a lovely Thursday afternoon. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. It's always brought to you by playalberta.ca, where you can get in the game. The Daily Grand on Thursdays. Your chance to win $1,000 a day for the next 20 years. $7.3 million. Pretty good. You wake up every day, you got a G note. Pretty nice. Check it out at playalberta.ca. Also, reminder today, as you're making your way home, today is the day to give yourself a little treat because it goes to a good cause. It's the 24th annual Dairy Queen Miracle Treat Day. So 100% of the proceeds will go to support the Stollery Children's Hospital. So check it out today. Stop in, get yourself a blizzard or something else, and you'll help out the Stollery. Now, let's talk a little football as we get to our NFL report brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling, home of the no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC or your furnace. Bundled together, save even more at legacyheating.ca. Beat reporter from Associated Press for the Raiders, Mark Anderson, joins us. Mark, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Good. I'm glad to be back on. I appreciate you having me.
Hey, I appreciate you coming on. So Mark, here we are. We're getting into preseason. Although we were talking earlier, the stats like starting quarterbacks don't play very much in the preseason. So with that being said, and we all assume that the veteran's going to be the starter, are we going to see a lot of the number one rookie in preseason?
Yes, that's what Clint Kubiak said just a couple of days ago, that he would get a lot of reps. Fernando Mendoza and Kirk Cousins start the game, but then Mendoza, I think we'll see him fairly quickly. I don't know exactly what the breakdown is going to be, but I would think he'd play at least most of the first half, if not finish out the first half, and maybe even to the second. But they probably get Aiden O'Connell and start second. But yeah, I think they want to get a good look at him.
He comes over from the Seattle when it comes to Clint Kubiak, the new head coach of the Vegas Raiders here. What do you think this offense looks like? We know Kirk Cousins gets the reins for year one, and they've got some weapons with Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers. What do you think this offense is going to look like under Clint Kubiak?
Well, I think he's still going to rely on the run a lot. And they've got, obviously Ashton Genty back. They also have Mike Washington Jr., who's been even getting first-team reps. And I think you're going to see a lot of him this season. So I think they're going to basically run the offense out of the ground game, and you'll be sort of a West Coast offense type look. But Mendoza, once he's in there, eventually he likes to throw the ball down the field too. So you'll see that, but you'll see some screen passes this year, which has been missing from this offense. I think you'll see that. You'll see use of the fullback, a lot of use of the tight ends, a lot of two tight end sets. So fairly similar to what he did in Seattle.
Mark, we saw, going back to last year when Fernando Mendoza went from Cal, joins up with Indiana, and the number is just, he won the Heisman, he won the national championship. He was the best player in college football, not only through the air, but also effective on the ground running the football. What has the jump been like for him going from Indiana to Vegas, college to pro style offense?
Well, the biggest adjustment is having to take the snaps directly under center. And in OTAs and minicamp over the spring, you could tell he just wasn't comfortable. His timing was off. His passes were sailing on him. So you could tell that he was just trying to get used to it. And then once training camp got started, there was a noticeable difference. He looked a lot more comfortable. Still, he made some mistakes. He does tend to force the ball a little bit. He's been picked off probably a few more times you'd like to see, but there are the times he zips it in there, and you're like, that's why he was the number one quarterback. He's just so accurate.
Mark, you've covered the Vegas Raiders now for a few seasons here, and you go back and you look at the history with the head coaches, and I'll just go to the Vegas era. John Gruden, of course, was kind of forced out with the emails. Rick Bisaccia came in. Josh McDaniels was there for a couple of years. Antonio Pierce takes over. Pete Carroll, just the one season. What signs are there that Clint Kubiak will be there long-term and be the guy for this group?
Well, it's certainly the hope, right? I think Mark Davis is tired of the revolving door for this coaches. I think he wants some stability. In fact, I know he does. And Tom Brady, same thing. This is a guy that they knew they're bringing in, and it's a process. They're not expecting a quick turnaround with this team suddenly in playoff contention this season or anything like that. They know it's going to take some time. And finally, you have the GM and the head coach on the same page, and that wasn't the case last year, where John Spytek, the GM, was definitely had more of a vision of the future. Where Pete Carroll was, he wanted to win now, and Carroll often won out, and with the personnel decisions, and it was a mess. And so when they fired Pete Carroll, it was clear that this was Spytek's team to run, and Spytek has said publicly it's not going to be a quick fix, and so I think what you just want to see this year is progress. You want to see the franchise looks like it's heading in the right direction. And so far, there's a lot of indications it is, but until they actually play real games, you don't really know. But I do like a lot of things they've done.
Mark Anderson of the Associated Press joining us from the Jason Gregor Show, taking a look at the Las Vegas Raiders. And, we touched on Ashton Genty and Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. They have some nice pieces there. But I'm looking at that receiver room, and there's good players. But I think you're still waiting to see who takes that next jump, whether it's Trey Tucker, Jalen Naylor comes over from Minnesota, Jack Besh, who they drafted a couple years ago out of TCU. Has any receiver stood out at camp?
I tell you, the surprise to me is Malik Benson. He's a 6th-round draft pick. He's had a really good spring and summer. In fact, he's gotten a decent number of reps with the starters, and I think he's someone who shows a lot of promise. And so I think you're going to see a lot of him this season. If you're looking for a true number one receiver, it's really Bowers. I know he's the tight end, but he's really the number one receiver.
Yeah.
And you'll see Michael Mayer playing more of a traditional tight end type role. So, after that, Naylor's an interesting story too, because he was overshadowed in Minnesota by two great receivers. Now he's got a chance to come out of that shadow. Is he on that level with a Justin Jefferson type receiver, or is he just kind of what we saw in Minnesota? I'm real curious to see about that. And this is his hometown, so he's maybe there's some comfort level there too. But I think he'll put up better numbers than he put up with the Vikings. But I don't know that he's going to, I don't really see him catching 95 passes or anything like that either.
When you look at the organization as a whole, with Tom Brady as a minority owner, guy who obviously had tons of success, was somebody who stood on the sidelines learning for a bit before he got in. Are they going to slow play Mendoza here and look to success? Like Green Bay's probably the best franchise who's done it, right? And I know some young quarterbacks can show they can play right away, and that's great. But the list of those guys is a lot shorter than the list of guys who had a little bit of time and then had success. Where do you think the organization, like big picture, like if they start out 0-3, are they suddenly going to the young guy, or do you think they'll be patient?
I guess it depends. If Cousins is playing decent, and they just feel like this isn't a season that's going anywhere anyway, why rush Mendoza? And a lot of them made me too. How do they feel where Mendoza is in his process?
Yeah, fair.
I keep thinking, because they had this just brutal stretch of games, I keep thinking that November 1st at the Jets will be when you see Mendoza make his first start. That's just, I don't have any inside information on that, but I'm just looking at the schedule. I just feel like you're going to see him at some point in the starting lineup this year, I would think. And that would seem to make a lot of sense. But, you just never know. Cousins could get hurt, tonight, and that changes everything. Yeah, I think ideally they would like to ease him in. I mean, in the spring practice, he was running the third team offense. So they were hardly rushing him in there. And then this training camp, he ran second team the entire time, except for the one day that Cousins and Max Crosby were suspended for their fight against each other. So that was the only time he ran first team.
Yeah. What'd you make of that suspension?
I thought it's really well handled. Clint Kubiak put his foot down. He used two star players to set an example for the rest of the team, but he also didn't make too big a deal of it. He made a brief statement. He set those guys aside, and then they returned to practice, the following Monday, and it was over. And I think that was handled very well. You don't drag it out, but at the same time, your message across that no one's above accountability. And those guys seem to handle it pretty well. Is their first practice back? It looks like they were kind of chirping each other, and then at the end of a drill, they did a brief hug. So I think they've moved on themselves.
Oh yeah, usually that I don't really worry too much about the players. Having squabbles is two brothers love each other, and there's a few brothers listening have probably teed off on each other once or twice. So, that's going to happen for sure as Mark Anderson joins us. When you look big picture, Mark, for the Raiders, you always hope and there's going to be some surprises. But when I look at that team, and then I kind of look at their division, the Broncos look good, the Chargers look good, the Chiefs, we'll see what happens with Mahomes coming back. But like the Raiders if they get to 5 wins or 6, is that considered a success? So what do you think's the internal barometer for their team this year?
I don't know if they have a number picked out that they want to hit. I think their general feeling is they want to be playing better at the end of the season, than the beginning. But I think 5-6 wins is a reasonable goal. If they get to 7, I think that's really successful. But I think, I mean, just because the schedule, it's just such a tough schedule. So I do think there's a good chance this team will look better as the season goes along, especially if they come in at that early part of the schedule, relatively unscathed. But as far as management, I don't know that they have any particular number in mind.
Mark Anderson joining us here, looking at the Vegas Raiders, covering the team for the Associated Press. I want to look at the defense here, and they kind of rebuilt a little bit. They bring in a couple forward Bulldogs and Quay Walker and Nakobe Dean, and then also maybe the steal of the draft, if he can stay healthy, at Jermod McCoy. Got him in the 4th round, the cornerback out of Tennessee. Yeah. Max Crosby comes back despite the trade. How is the defensive unit looking?
I think it's going to be decent. I don't think it's going to blow anyone away. I think it's going to be decent. They were the problem they had last year. You had Pete Carroll basically taking over as the de facto defensive coordinator over Patrick Graham, who had done a good job running the defense until Carroll arrived. So they just weren't, sort of like the GM and Carroll, they just weren't on the same page. And I think it was tough on the players. So at least this year they'll go in. They have a more of a clear purpose. Rob Leonard is their defensive coordinator. He had been the defensive line coach in Crosby, and the other players just love him. So that's you got to feel they're going to start out at least on the same page. But I think, like I said, I think it'll be decent. I don't, if they finish like in the, around the middle of the pack defensively, I think that would be a really good mark for them to hit. They're not. The problem they had last year too is the offense couldn't stay on the field. They were last in the league in time of possession, so the defense just got worn down. So I think with this new offense, I think that's going to help the defense as well.
Yeah, and I think the offensive line can help that out as well. And they bring in Tyler Linderbaum, give him the $27 million a year. You've got Jackson Powers Johnson, who kicks out to guard, and then Spencer Burford coming over from San Francisco. This offensive line for a long time was kind of Colton Miller and everyone else. Do you think we're going to a point where this could be one of the strengths of the team?
I don't think it's quite there yet. It was easily the worst offensive line in the league last year. So it's going to be a while. It's going to take some time to become a real asset. If they can get to like the 20th best offensive line, I think that's a decent goal to try to hit. Now, obviously, as you mentioned, Linderbaum's good. Was a big pickup. Miller, if he can stay healthy, is huge. I'm the one thing that surprised me. I thought there would be, other than those two positions, I thought the other 3 offensive line positions there'd be heavy competition with just training camp. And there's only really one position there where that happened. That was right guard. Where this is a big year for Jackson Powers Johnson. He came in as with a lot of high expectations, 2nd round draft pick, and he just hasn't lived up to them. And Caleb Rogers is pushing him hard. So that will be interesting to see. I think they'll both go win to the season with both playing a lot, but I can see Rogers eventually just sort of taking that position over at some point too.
One last one for me anyway. So we talk about, the tight end is going to be their main pass catcher. What's your expectations on Cousins? Like Cousins had stretches in his career where he's pretty good quarterback. What have you seen? I know it's super early and probably not going to see him a ton in preseason, but what's kind of your expectation realistically of what he could bring to that team?
I try not to read too much into training camp practices, but I mean, there's been practices I couldn't even remember if the ball hit the ground or not when he was in there. So he's been really sharp this camp. He knows the system. He and Frank Kubiak worked together before, so I think there's a comfortability there as well. I don't think they're going to ask him to go out and necessarily win games by himself. So, but I think he's going to play okay. I really do. like I said, I don't know if he's going to be top half of the league, okay, but I think he's going to. I think he's going to be better than what they've had. Now, granted, that's a low bar, but I don't think he's going to be the deficit that they've had at that position. So, but we'll see once they enter that tough stretch how he holds up, because that offensive line, like I'm still not sold on it. So I could see him getting roughed up back there quite a bit too.
Mark, thanks so much for this, man. Enjoy the season. Enjoy the preseason.
I appreciate you guys having me on. Thank you so much.
There you go. That's Mark Anderson joining us, talking a little Raiders. We got, hey, boys, it's a bowl year for the Raiders. Well played, Lance. Well played. Quick break. We'll come back. 5 questions and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Don't let rookies scratch your custom wheels. Evolve Wheels and Tires uses premium touchless equipment designed to protect your wheel and tire investment. Trust the enthusiasts at Evolve Wheels and Tires, Edmonton's premium wheel specialists. Evolve your ride. Evolve your experience.
Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Join play-by-play announcer Ben Shulman for the games live on Sports 1440. The Toronto Blue Jays are on Edmonton's home for all things sports. Sports 1440.
The second half is yours. Lock in your seat with our new 5-game season pass and get a $25 voucher. Half season, full energy. Get your season pass at goelks.com. Edmonton Elks, our city, our year.
Photographers, start your cameras. Vision Credit Union's annual photo contest is back. We're asking you to show us the people, places, and moments that made you glad you chose this rural life. Maybe it's the view from your farm, a walk down Main Street, neighbors pitching in, a weekend at the rodeo, or a sunset down a back road. Share your photo to show why life in rural Alberta is a choice worth celebrating. Enter and vote at whatsyourshare.ca.
I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. The goal of every one of the thousands of hair restoration procedures I've performed is a full, natural-looking head of hair. I work directly with my patients for the consultation, the procedure, and the follow-up, so we can achieve the best results possible. When people see what we accomplish, I don't want them to think, "Wow, great hair transplant." I want them to think,
"Wow, great hair."
Go to drvanceelliott.com and contact us today.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade. Safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Fundraise for your team or charity at On the Rocks. They'll make you custom tickets for your event that include no line, cover, and 1 drink for your event. You keep the profits. Learn more at ontherocks.yeg.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.445, welcome back. Some injury news from the Argos today. Polk is out. Wide receiver McKay Polk is probably like their second best receiver. He's out with a foot injury. Also, you've got Ethan John, the defensive back, ankle injury. He's out. So, be interesting to see. Some movement on the offensive line as Hunter might not be able to go. So Toronto comes in a little bit banged up, and you're Edmonton. I think you're frothing at the mouth to come back and play much better, much more composed. I know they've made some tweaks to special teams. I think you're going to see some changes on their cover teams for sure. They've worked on practice. They had tackling, They had tackling drills. So I would expect a much crisper performance from the green and gold Saturday against the Argos. They look to continue to be a very good team at home. Time now for 5 questions, 5 questions, brought to you by The Brick, where saving you more, that's what The Brick likes to do on furniture, mattresses, appliances, and big screen TVs. Check it out at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Gregor, CFL mid-season right now. Who will be your top 3 picks for MOP?
Go ahead.
I think Davis Alexander right now for what he's been able to do with the Montreal Alouettes. He would top my list. He's been terrific this season. The 21 touchdowns, always good. Top spot in the league. Hard to argue. Also plays quarterback, always a benefit. I think that I would have Trevor Harris right in that conversation as well. And I'll go Philpott from the Als as well. I mean, just what we saw him do with our own eyes over the weekend. Man, guy's a hell of a player. So I would have 2 Alouettes and then, of course, Trevor Harris.
Okay. Like it's 2 MVPs in the same team. I guess you can do it. It's challenging, but yeah. I would look at Philpott for sure. He's he's been unreal. I guess I don't know if I can get behind Alexander. It'd be hard not to. I understand it, but I got to put Vernon Adams in there, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
His season's been good. So I'll take one from each team, and I'll go Vernon, Fajardo, and Philpott.
Throwing less interceptions than Harris, too. So I could get behind that one for sure. Question number 2. Play Alberta right now has the Stamps as 4-point favorites heading into their game against the BC Lions tonight. Who do you like?
Oh, you know what? Nathan Rourke's back. I will take the BC Lions.
I'm with you. I think the BC Lions right now in a position to play a good road football game, running the ball, and then when Calgary starts to commit to the run, you let Nathan Rourke do his thing. So I'm with you. I'll take the BC Lions in this one, but that murky middle in the West, hard to say for sure. We got the St. Jude Championships going on right now. The top 50 going to advance to the BMW Championship next weekend. 3 Canadians in the field. How many do you think advance?
Go ahead.
I'm going to go with all of them. I think right now they're all in the position to do so. There's a really big tie right now that has Corey Connors right in there, but I think he's good enough to keep it going here. I've kind of had a bold prediction that Yoel Maraju was going to be the next Canadian to win a PGA event. Not saying it's going to be this one, but I think he's the future. So I'm going to say all 3 advance to the BMW Classic.
Well, we're looking at, like how good Corey Connors has to be to get there. It's going to be tough. So I will say 2 out of 3 advance.
Crazy that Rory sitting in second last place.
Well, for today. Yeah, but he would. I think even if he misses the cut, I still think he qualifies from where he's at. Right? I don't think he can fall out of the top 50. So,
question number 4. This hasn't come up yet either. We've seen Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels take some heat for sending the University of Louisiana a cease and desist, saying they can no longer use his name, image, and likeness. This was, of course, because his number was given away. Is there any way you can defend these actions?
0. This is the lamest, most self-centered, most frivolous thing I have ever seen. Well, how come my number hasn't been retired yet? How come my number got given away? Do you have the Michael Irving clip, Cons? Because listen to Michael Irving. I'm not saying all the time, but in this one situation, when I listened to Michael Irving's explanation, I thought it made perfect sense. And because his number 88, guess who wears it? CeeDee Lamb. But he had a very unique perspective on it. Cons, tell me when we got it. So here's Michael Irving on jersey retired.
Why would I want my number retired? When you retire the number, they put it in the rafters. And as soon as you leave time and go to eternity, they say, lost Michael today. Back to the game. That's it. That's all you get. That's the only time you get your flowers. When CeeDee Lamb wearing number 88, every Sunday he step on the football field. When he misses a ball, they said Mike Irvin wouldn't have dropped that. Your feet touches. Your feet. Your feet touches the ball. They said, look like Mike Irvin. So no matter what, I get my flowers every Sunday. I don't understand why everybody don't.
I love it. Makes perfect sense. But this is embarrassing by Jaden Daniels. Absolutely. I think that was on Jimmy Fallon, by the way. We got that clip from Michael Irving. But I agree with him wholeheartedly. Like, it goes up in the rafters, and then you kind of, you never see the number again. I actually like the fact that I would honor the number, but I would keep it in circulation.
I'm with you. I mean, we've seen that before. The Dallas Cowboys did it with Des Bryant, right? Like, Des, you talk to Michael Irvin, you're a stud receiver, go out there and earn 88. We've seen it at USC with 55. I believe it's LSU has 22 they give to their guys. There's 16, one of the two. I think it's cool you can do things like that. It's so pathetic. Like, you're the quarterback of an NFL franchise, and you can put out the statement saying that you're focused on camp and not worried about this. But why did it come up? Like, let that young man at LSU have your number. I think he was a number 1 corner in the state of Florida. He's a sophomore now. It's not that big a deal. To bring up the comparison to Joe Burrow, no one's worn 9. Well, Joe Burrow won a national championship. It wasn't just the Heisman, it was also a Natty. So, yeah, I saw that story. I absolutely couldn't believe it. And I don't think I've seen one person defend his actions. So if I'm LSU, thumbs up. All right, we'll take down your stuff. Don't worry about it, man. We'll continue to play on and try to win football games. Question number 5 for you. International Left-Handers Day. So who would you say is your top lefties of all time?
Ooh. In any sport?
You can go any sport here, yeah.
Well, kind of like baseball pitchers are kind of, what I think about lefties, but does Lionel Messi count? Left footer, right? Babe Ruth. He could throw, I think he'd throw both ways though, but I would go football. I'm going Steve Young, and I'm going to go pitchers. Randy Johnson.
Big unit. Yeah, tough to beat that one. I was just trying to do a little research here. Sandy Koufax was a lefty, but before my time, I suppose Clayton Kershaw, if I'm talking pitchers.
Oh, yeah.
For quarterbacks, like the first one I remember would probably have been Mark Brunell, but the most electric on the field, not what he did off the field, Michael Vick.
Oh,
yeah.
God. He was
the Vic flick of the wrist.
Dude, he was worth the price of admission, that guy. He was, God, could he run, and he could throw the ball, too. Like, he had an absolute cannon of an arm.
They used to roll him out to the left with Algie Crumpler and I want to say Peerless Price, whoever the receiver was at the time. And it was almost unstoppable because he could run. Mm-hmm. If you commit to the tight end, if you complete or over the top, he'd dump it off the Crumpler, or he could roll out. Like, he was unbelievable. But Gregor, side quest here. You look at his career statistics, they're not very good. He's one of those guys for me that you look back and I just say you had to watch him.
Yeah, stats, there's lies, and statistics, what some people will say. Now, Michael Vick obviously made some horrific decisions with the dogfighting, so let's point that out very quickly. But he was not the best player, but he's top 5 most entertaining players in NFL history, I would think.
I would agree.
Right? Like Barry Sanders is in there for me. Now, Barry Sanders wasn't great, but for just like Tom Brady wasn't entertaining. He was good, but you never like, oh my God, did you see that from Tom? And that's okay. Doesn't mean he wasn't fantastic and he won, but Michael Vick could do things that very few other players could do. That's what made him entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, geez, those mid-2000s, he was must-watch television. That game he went into Green Bay, won in Lambeau in the playoffs. I'm trying to think who else, like Barry Sanders would be a good one. There were some kick returns.
Randy Moss made some plays. Darryl Green is a DB, probably a little bit before your time. One of the fastest players he was he was a cover guy who made defense fun. Now, they didn't pass the ball that much either, and he still was entertaining.
I think Dante Hall, Devin Hester, and Josh Cribbs as return men or must watch.
Yeah. Well, the Giz, if we're talking all-time entertaining, the Giz is right up there. There's no question. Like, are you kidding me? So he and honestly, Giz was better suited for the CFL because the fair catch rule stinks. I've said it all along. The worst rule in sports is the fair catch rule in the NFL. Name a rule that's worse. For lessening the chance of impacting the game and entertainment for your fans. There's no rule. It's the worst. Because you see a 5-yard rule in the CFL. You could implement it. It'd be fantastic. Could you imagine if Devin Hester got to return punts more? And I'll tell you, Giz would have stayed in the NFL if they didn't have fair catch. Because he would have more of an opportunity to show what he could do. No question in my mind. Where do you come out on fair catch, Cons?
I guess I'm just so used to it. in the NFL, I've never seen it any other way. But I do get what you're saying. Like, if every time you had to give at least those 5 yards and it forced a return,
yes,
you're going to see way more returns, right? So, yeah, it's impossible to disagree with that.
Yeah.
You're just going to get more returns, more action. And it seems like, in a way, the NFL is kind of doing away with kickoff returns. With
they're pretty
everything
much
they're doing.
Like the most useless play is the kickoff in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's line up so we can all stand there and watch him kick it through the end zone. Woo! That was entertaining. Like, come on. Dumb. So, and you can tell me all the reasons why they do it. I get all that. Doesn't change the fact that it's dumb, right? You might as well just say, okay, we're going to scrimmage from here. Right? Now, I know that, having the guys not run has changed something. I get all that, but still not great. Take a quick break. We'll return. We got KK. We also have a JT. Yeah, it's the initials hour here on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Time now to get to Sports 1440 update, brought to you by Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Now, I don't know if they call it a CV, but we will for this, just to play on it. A Corvette should go in the Corvette showroom right now. Unbelievable deals. And guess what? You'll pay what they pay. Employee pricing for the rest of this month at Northgate Chevrolet GMC, northgategm.com.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Toronto Blue Jays fell earlier today to the Boston Red Sox. Up next will be the New York Yankees. Tomorrow for a weekend set, Yankees losing as well to the Mariners 1-0. Elsewhere, Pirates over the Marlins 13-1. The Guardians hauled the Tigers 3-0, and it was the Cubbies blanked by the Nationals 7-0. Coming up tonight, Phillies and Twins from Dyersville, Iowa, in the Field of Dreams game. You've also got the Angels and Rangers. Brewers head to Los Angeles to take on the Dodgers. From the CFL, Week 11 gets going in Calgary. Stamps Lions. That one's set to get going at 7 o'clock in the NFL preseason. Officially gets going with the Lions and Bengals. Steelers, Packers, Colts head to New England. Raiders host the Cards. Chargers and Texans. While the Niners hosting the Tennessee Titans. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Kevin Carius in the Spec Report, and we'll talk some Winnipeg Jets with Jamie Thomas. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
It's Dollar Drink Summer at McDonald's. Sip on a refreshing small fountain drink or a small iced coffee for just $1 each plus tax, all summer long. Only at McDonald's. Excludes flavored and cloud iced coffees. At participating Canadian restaurants. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Need an excuse to upgrade your ride? Well, we got a few to share. Go Auto has over 18,000 new and used vehicles ready to test drive right now. With more than 70 locations, your perfect match could be closer than you think. A family-friendly SUV for soccer practice, a fuel-sipping commuter, or a hardworking truck that's ready for anything. Trusted brands and a team that's actually happy to help. Explore thousands of vehicles today at goauto.ca.
From the first pitch to the final out, catch Toronto Blue Jays baseball games live right here. Don't miss a moment of Blue Jays baseball this season. Sports 1440 is proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball.
Everything is going to be okay. If you're feeling the weight of too much debt, you have options. I'm Dan McDicken, a licensed insolvency trustee with Favor. Becoming debt-free is possible, and a personal bankruptcy or a consumer proposal will get you there. Schedule your free Favor Focus session at faber.ca today. You'll learn how a consumer proposal will eliminate your debt by paying a percentage of the amount owed without interest. At Favor, we've got your back.
Come for Canada's largest trade show.
Don't let rookies scratch your
entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more.
Great news
and
from the
stay for the
Argos.
experience at the Edmonton Expo Center. Looking for the perfect place to host your next big event? From trade shows to galas, meetings, and concerts, the Edmonton Expo Center has the space, event expertise, and service to make your next event unforgettable. With over 522,000 square feet of flexible event space, in-house catering, and operational expertise, they bring your biggest vision to life. Learn more at edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Portions of this hour brought to you by 01 Athletic Care, Edmonton's multidisciplinary health clinic at West Edmonton Mall. Physicians, physio, massage, sports psychology, and more. One team, one roof, one plan. Book now at 01.ca. That's ZERONE.ca.
This is Sports 1440, where Edmonton talks sports.
On YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Here's Jason Gregor.
Brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca.
We roll through it on a lovely Thursday afternoon. Welcome back. The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, live on Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Sure to give a thumbs up to the D-Man over there. Hit the subscribe button. Always appreciate it. The Gregor Show brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca, where tonight, little CFL action you want to get involved in. You also can check out the Jays game is done, but check out the Jason Gregor Show odds boost. We got an NHL outright one for you already, and some Elks ones. I'll say, like, Justin Rankin, I wish they would have had a touches, because I'm taking the over. I'm telling you right now, after the dreadful decision to have him touch the ball 7 times last week, Justin Rankin is going to get a heavy workload. I'm telling you, heavy workload, as he should. And over 80.5 rushing yards, take the over all day, Con, man. I'm hitting that one big time if I was checking out at PlayAlberta.ca. So there you go. Now, let's get to the Carious Report, filling in for Spec, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. Fantastic company, growing, expanding, and they are hiring pipe layers, top end, and a superintendent. An opportunity for you for a great company that keeps expanding. Check it out, gsconstruction.ca, and check out careers as Kevin Carious, retiree, joins us now. KK, how you doing? Oh my goodness.
How's it going, Greg? It was a very it's been a busy day, man. Okay. I cut probably 50, 60 pounds of concrete today, minimum, with the saw. Then I went and played hockey, and we dominated the whites, dark dominated white. Wasn't even funny. And now I'm just sitting at the backyard of the in-laws and just getting ready to do the show, big guy.
All right. Now, Peter Marr KK, I know you're obviously good friends with Rod. Rod and Peter for decades were really the voice of NHL hockey in the province. And Peter passed away today. I know that you shared many beers with the Rod. Did Rod how close were the play-by-play guys to each other around the league? Or because he was Calgary, were Peter and Rod okay, we're good, but we're not that good?
No, I think extremely close. I was lucky. Not do that. I think he did, but I worked in Calgary.
So we'll try to clear that up a little bit. But yes, for anybody, honestly, you don't have to be a Flame fan, right? I think Flame fans knew how good Rod was at calling their games, and him and Peter were very different, which I think was awesome. For a fan of the Flames, Flame fans, they love Peter Maher. Oiler fans, they love Rod Phillips. It was great, but I think you respected the other ones. There's a lot, I'd drive and, if you want to listen to a game and you were somewhere where you're well, hey, let's listen to the Calgary game. I remember back when I worked in the oil field, man, I was around all the time. You were just for me as a sports guy, I just wanted any game I could listen to. It didn't really matter. So if the Oilers weren't playing, I'd be hey, great, I can listen to the Flames game. Good, it's on. Here we go. And Peter and Rod were very different in how they called the game, but obviously both very good, both Hall of Famers, both had amazing careers, and unfortunately Peter passing away today. And so KK kind of, I know you were on the road doing color with Rod for many years, and so obviously crossed paths probably with Peter and a lot of the guys in Calgary.
Yeah, sorry, I think we just had a little interruption there on the line, but even when before I got here, I was in Calgary, and Peter Maher was so welcoming to get to, for a younger guy like myself back then, almost 30 years ago, to be part of the Calgary media. He would always be so, the word that I'm looking for is that he was receptive. And it wasn't just me. There were many, many other younger guys that came in. And it was that time of a young guy's career where you didn't know what to expect. And you weren't sure if you're going to be welcomed. But I'll be honest with you, Peter was great. I don't think there was any between Rod and Peter. They respected each other's crafts. Each guy did the games the way they felt that they were going to paint the picture to their listeners. And that's the thing. The difference between the two play-by-play guys is night and day. Peter was way more, Rod was more energetic. I think Peter, to be honest with you, I think Peter drew some stuff from Rod over the years because of the success that the Oilers had. But the thing is, in the 80s, those two guys did more games than anyone else when you think about the playoffs and how the Battle of Alberta and how everything else was. They were phenomenal, and Rod was, as everyone knows, I think many people have heard the story of Kevin Lowe when he was injured. I don't know if you have, Griggs, if you have, but Kevin was injured and he wasn't on the trip wherever the Oilers were, and he came back and the guys said, they came back and Kevin goes, well, that game was unbelievable because there was no TV. There was no TV back then. Yeah. And the guy said, well, actually it was a terrible game. Well, Kevin said, Rod made it sound like a good game. And Peter did too. So we've had the pleasure in this province to have two of the very, very best, both deserving guys, both in the Hall of Fame. And just too bad. So all the best to the Flames family and Peter's family as well. Yeah.
Well, that's the one thing, Rod, I think it was awesome. Your job as a radio play-by-play guy is to entertain and make the, every hit, every shot, every play was just oh my God, it was better and it's more intense. And that's what you want. And I think it was fantastic. And so they both went about it differently, but obviously both very successful in how they approached it for sure. Kev, you look at the Elks, and we had Noah Taylor on earlier today, and he's a guy who played so well. He basically kind of took over Robbie Smith's starting job this season. We got some announcement. Polk is out, maybe some changes on the O-line due to injuries in Toronto. Where do you come out on the importance of this game for the Elks?
Probably like 9.5, 9 3/4, or 10 out of 10. They got to, after two losses, and you had a home game against a team that you're a better team than Toronto, but you still have to execute. That's how this team has to go about Saturday. Toronto's going to throw the ball. Everyone knows that. They're susceptible to the run. Everyone knows that. Edmonton can run the ball, obviously, with Rankin. And I heard you earlier, he's got to get more touches. We all know that. So if the game plan is executed the way it should be, then everything should be fine. You got a home game. As I said, I think I heard you say earlier, maybe 20,000, 21. We'll see.
It's already being sold. No, that's how many tickets are already sold. So that doesn't include walk-up. So that, that's trending for another good crowd.
Yeah, but you know how it is. Like you might say it's 21, but there's technically less in there. I hope they get 21, 22. I hope they get 30. But regardless, the fact is that this is an opportunity for this team to right the ship after 2 losses. And you can't lose at home to Toronto. And that's a simple fact. If you think that you are one of the top 4 teams in the league, you can't lose this game at home.
Yeah, no, I think that's totally fair. And man, I'm very curious to watch how the offensive coordinator calls the plays, Kev, because I'm telling you, man, it was funny. We had a lot of people that reached out after, talking about like players over plays. And, that was Rick Walters' term when we had him on Monday. And, that resonated with a lot of guys. It's like, you can be a systems coach, but it can't overrule your players. And I think in that game, the system overruled the skill of Rankin, and that can't happen again.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. The players are the players. They're the ones that are in any sport. It doesn't matter what you're playing. The players will make the plays, and those are the guys that make. Like, coaches can put in whatever you want, but the players still have to execute. But give them the proper game plan. Give them the proper, everything else moving straight forward. Give them the proper game plan to make those plays. Don't put them in a position to fail. Put them in a position to succeed.
Yeah, and Rankin standing there, never touching the ball. I'm still I'm flabbergasted that the most exciting player in the game touches the ball 7 times.
And you know what? He's handled it great, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, he has. Because, I could see him being annoyed, and it'd be rightfully so. I'll say they need somebody in the spotter's box, because if that's the case, to say, hey, this guy's touched the ball 4 times so far. What are we doing? Get him the ball, right? If it's that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. So, hey, if Sean McAvey can have a guy on the sidelines who keeps him from off the sidelines, Kev, then the Elks can get somebody who can just have a counter on how many touches that Rankin's at, because you got to then call plays that Rankin's going to touch the ball. It's that simple.
Yeah, and that's the way this team should be. The playmaker, and they've got some great receivers at playmaker. And I think it was 2 days ago, and I said, or maybe it was yesterday, I said to you, I would love to see more packages with Javon Leake and Justin Rankin at the same time, because now if you're a defense, you're going, well, what are they throwing at us? Do the stuff that you're not expecting. And with those 2 guys in the backfield, maybe you move them around. Maybe they switch out. Maybe one guy flanks out. Maybe the other guy stays in the backfield. Just give the defense a look where they go, we got Leake and we got Rankin in the backfield. What are they doing?
Yeah. The other guy that I'd like to see, and I think Cephas is a hell of a player. And, I'm telling people, you watch it, don't be surprised if you see him moving up more often, because that guy, he gets the ball in his hands, he makes plays, and he's still young and figuring out. And I know when he had his one game and then he made a few mistakes, and so they kind of went away from him. But I'm like, no. I look at his ability as a receiver, and you just look at size and everything. Like, not every receiver has to have size, but when you're that big, he's a guy that I think can be a real difference maker moving forward for them. With him and Luther, and you get Robustelli, they're going to have some real good options alongside Mac.
Here's a question for you. How close is Robustelli to being a factor here?
Well, I don't think he's eligible to come off. I think it's next week that he'd be eligible to play for the first time, because he's practicing again, but he practiced beforehand and then he re-aggravated. So I gotta see him in practice multiple days before I think he's ready.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you know what? Before I know we're maybe close for time here, but you were talking about golf with Scully and stuff like that, and all the great golfers that are coming in here for next week's LP. Yeah, but you know what? One other golfer, Greg, that people should keep an eye on, and it'll be a local golfer from Red Deer, is Eileen Park. and we had her on the show probably a year and a half ago. And Eileen, I think, is the same age as Anna Huang, but
she's only 17.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
She's from Red Deer,
Okay.
but she just won the PGA Women's of Canada as an amateur. She is that good. She has been. She's won many tournaments, and I actually have her contact, and I'll maybe try to see if I can sniff her out for you tomorrow or Monday or whatever.
That'd be fantastic.
I'm not sure where she is. So, but Eileen Park out of Red Deer. She came up as a young girl on the McLennan Ross tour with Dunk Mills, 13, 14, 15 years old, and then has moved on, obviously. And she's been playing like above her weight class for many years here. So this is going to be a great experience for her. I think she's about the same age as Wong, but I'm not exactly sure. Maybe a year difference, but I think it would be something for local golf fans to keep an eye on.
Oh, 100%, man. I think it's going to be a fantastic event.
Were you covering the last one when
Yes.
Lydia Cole was here?
Yes.
Yeah, that was unreal. Yeah.
Yeah.
We did tons of stories with Lydia Cole when she was here, and she would have been, I think she was 14.
Oh God, was she
15?
ever young?
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
No, it's it'll be fun. Hopefully it's later August, man. I just hope that the rain can slow down here, because the rain is going. It's going to be tough. But here the Mayfair is in great shape despite all the rain. So they've worked.
Always is. Yeah.
They've had to
always
work
is.
extra hard to keep in a good shape, and the rough is tough. Rough is tough right now.
Oh, it's a hard course. And
Oh,
I mean, the crew there, everyone at Mayfair has done a remarkable job to get this going. So it should be a great event.
Yeah, looking forward to it. We'll chat with you tomorrow, buddy. Have a good one.
Great. Sounds great.
So there we go. That's Kevin Carey's filling in for the Spec Report this week. And I'm curious how many of you are going. Watching any, you don't have to be a diehard golfer. You watch any sport up close, and you're going to able, get right up to the rope, and you have a different appreciation for elite level athletes. It's just different, man. And it's a lot of fun. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Your weekend hotspot is at On the Rocks.
Party with Edmonton's best bands every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
And we got them all.
From the Varkels to Tallboy, Radioactive, Curves, The Brute Squad, Morningwood, Roxilla, Punch Buggy, and more.
Plus, the guy who keeps the party going every weekend. DJ Kenny K on the ones and twos, live.
Get ready to have a good time this weekend.
Your bar, your party. You're On the Rocks.
On the Rocks.
Jasper Ave and 118th.
Kickoff is coming August 15th. Elks, Argos at Play Alberta Field at Commonwealth Stadium. It's Family Day presented by Goodwill Industries of Alberta. Youth 17 and under get in free for an early afternoon contest. Conditions apply. Tickets and info at goelks.com/tickets.
Now's the time to shop the Bricks 0% event. Get what you need today with absolutely $0 down. Pay nothing with no interest until 2028. Or choose 36 equal monthly payments on qualifying purchases. Plus, save up to 25% on living room furniture, up to 20% on dining and bedroom furniture, and up to 40% on select mattresses. Hurry into the Brick today. These incredible offers are only on until August 19th. The Brick, saving you more.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
When your project can't afford downtime, call Japa Equipment Rentals. From excavators and wheel loaders to compaction equipment, Japa has the machines you need. Trusted since 1972. Visit japaequipment.com or stop our Edmonton or Calgary locations.
Why tee off at the Ranch Golf and Country Club?
A fun, unique layout offering premier conditions. The Ranch has been ranked as one of the top public courses in Canada.
Unmatched value. Score Golf Magazine rated the Ranch as the best value in Edmonton.
The service, from tournaments to special events to the pro shop. Superior service that makes every visit exceptional.
The Ranch Golf and Country Club, a laid-back environment where anyone can enjoy an amazing day on the fairways. For details, visit theranchgolf.com.
welcome.
Hey, Edmonton, thinking about your next SUV? Think Subaru. The Subaru Forester has earned an IIHS top safety pick or higher for 20 years in a row. Add legendary Subaru symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and the 2026 JD Power Canada Best Residual Value Award among compact SUVs, and you've got an SUV that's built to protect today and hold its value tomorrow. This month, take advantage of loyalty rates as low as 0.99%. Come test drive the Forester at your local Subaru dealership today. Welcome to Uncommon.
From the local rinks to homes and businesses across the province, Alberta's rural natural gas utilities are here to fuel life affordably, reliably, and safely. We're members of the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops, providing natural gas to keep our rural neighborhoods warm and connected every day. It's local, dependable, and it's ours. To learn more about the Federation of Alberta Gas Co-ops and our members, and how natural gas fuels your community, visit fedgas.com. Alberta's energy. Game on.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection? Incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Get the Gregor special. Enjoy 20% off any regular menu price order when you enter promo code Gregor at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
The Jason Gregor Show on Edmonton's go-to station for all things sports. It's Sports 1440.
Presented by Play Alberta, where Alberta wins with casino, sports, and lottery all in one app.
Here's Jason Gregor.
$5:23. How you doing? Welcome back, Gregor, Allie, Declan Cougar with you. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca. Hope you're having a lovely Thursday. I will say, man, the Cincinnati Bengals helmets, the best helmet in the NFL. A little NFL preseason in the studio here. Cons and Declan watching intently. I'm not sure anybody loves preseason NFL more than those two jabronis. But the Bengals helmets always look good. Now, if Burrow can stay healthy, Bengals win the division. Now, I know that's a big if, but if he's healthy, they will win the division. Welcome back. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca, and it's time to go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And, of course, you can get dollar drinks, small drink for only $1, and also download the McDonald's app and order a cone for only $1 all summer. Getting close to ending, so you might as well get it only at McDonald's. As we are joined by Jamie Thomas, of course, host for the Winnipeg Jets, as well as the Ground Control podcast. JT, good afternoon, my man. How you doing?
I'm great. How about you, buddy?
Oh, I'm pretty good. How's summer being in Winnipeg? Wet, hot, dry? What's going on?
Like in May and June, we had some crazy thunderstorms. There was this one, I can't remember the day, but there was like probably 4 or 5 tornado warnings within the city of Winnipeg. None of them ever happened, but it was pretty crazy. And there was one time I went outside and it was dead quiet, and I'm like, we're dead. It's over. It's just like the movies. I'm telling the kids, get in the basement. It's over, man. It's like, it's Twister. So that part was good. And horrible. And then a ton of rain in June, and then it's just been bone dry. It's been hot here. We had like 36, 40 for a couple of weeks.
Oh,
and then now it's been nice 25, 26 all this week. So it's, outside of May and June, it's been pretty good summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looking at the Jets off season, nothing's happened on Hellebuck, and you know what? So I'm sure Jets fans are pretty excited about that. He'll come back to the team, at least for now, but I know we're still a month away from training camp. But the Jets 2 years ago won the President's Trophy, and last year I think was a disappointing season for them. There's no question. So you look at their team, and do you feel they've addressed the needs to improve? And I'm not saying they're going to have to win but get back to being a playoff team again.
So to answer your question, a lot really still sits on what they're going to do with Connor Hellebuck before we go anywhere. But I think it'd be hard. I'd be hard pressed to tell you that, that last year was a complete disaster, only because it just felt like everything that could go wrong went wrong. And this team was not as bad as it looked, like their record looked. When you don't make the playoffs, it's bad news. And yes, you're coming off a President's Trophy and expectations are sky high, but they were in a lot of games. They lost a lot of 1-goal games they won the year before. You had a lot of players that were nicked up, but I know lots of teams in the NHL go through these things. But the key players that they were out, Dylan Sandberg, Cole Perfetti wasn't healthy for a long time. Adam Lauer, we're not going to go through this because I've gone through this with you a million times. It was not a good year that way. So to address the offseason needs, you're going to have a healthy Neil Pionk, which you did not have last year. You're going to have a healthy Dylan Sandberg, touch wood. You're going to have a much healthier Adam Lowry. Cole Perfetti's coming in good shape, decided a new contract. So all of those key components that were banged up last year, hopefully touch wood again, that those same things don't happen. You added a great guy in Mario Ferraro, who I think it said a lot of good things about the organization here, because he's leaving a San Jose team that's on the up and up. And it's probably on its way to a playoff spot next year. Obviously the Stuart Skinner addition raised a lot of eyebrows here in terms of what Connor Hellebuck's future is within the hockey club, because it'll be interesting to see if it's Connor Hellebuck and Stuart Skinner next year to start at least. But I feel the Jets are confident that Stuart Skinner can turn things around after a challenging year last year. Wade Flaherty's worked some magic with goaltenders in years past, and they're hoping that he can do that again. And everyone knows about the importance of fresh starts for the most part, and how that helps out a lot. So they've addressed certain needs. They got a penalty killer in Mario Ferraro, guy that likes to block shots, a key guy in their third defense pairing. But you already have Elias Salamonson, who will start the year on the injured list. That's a big knock for the Jets on the blue line, because I felt that youngster was going to start on the right side with Josh Morrissey, possibly when camp broke this year, but we're going to have to wait and see how that shakes out. But on the blue line, they're fine. But and then Viggo Bjork. I mean, that's the X factor here. They come out of the draft. There's conversation. Mark Hillier, who's director of amateur scouting, says he believes we'll have a good shot at making the second center spot on the Jets this year. No pressure on Viggo that way, right? So he signs a contract. And here's the thing. It may sound crazy, but when you look at what Viggo Bjork did before he was drafted, played for Sweden at the World Hockey Championships along with the World Juniors, played in the Swedish Elite League on the top line. So it's not like he was, a lot of youngsters don't get any ice time in the Swedish Elite League. That is not the case for Viggo Bjork. There are a lot of expectations of this young man. And if he breaks out of training camp as a 2C, the Jets will be thrilled. But also we sit and wait what the Jets can get if they do end up trading Connor Hellebuck, because now that you signed Stuart Skinner, I feel you don't have to trade for a goalie in that package if he does indeed get traded in the offseason. So maybe you can get a little bit more than you want and fill some holes in your roster. So I still think there's a lot of questions up front, my friend. What's Nino Niederreiter have left in the tank? You know what I mean? He's such a key part of the Jets' third line that was decimated last year because of injuries. He played for the most of the year with a back injury, trying to get to his 1,000th game, trying to play for Switzerland at the Olympics. So there's just so many question marks. What does Vladislav Domestikov have left? Where does he fit in? Does Morgan Barron play center on the fourth line, or does he play on the wing with Adam Lauer in the third line? So there's lots of moving parts here that we're not quite sure about, but a lot of this is on if the Jets end up trading Connor Hellebuck, before the season starts.
What does your gut tell you on Hellebuck? Because I looked at the Skinner one. I know people are like, oh my God, but I'm like, yeah, well, Hellebuck doesn't even get paid that much for an elite starter, really, at the end of the day. And I look with the increased cap, I almost looked at it like this was them saying to Connor, hey, we want you, but we're gonna monitor you so you're better for us in the playoffs rather than play you 60-some games.
Yeah, I like that thought process. I also like the idea that you're making sure you're not caught, in trouble if Hellebuck does indeed get traded. My feeling is he will get dealt. I just don't know when. Because I love it. I love the idea, and you've been a big proponent of Hellebuck playing less over the years. We've talked and had conversations, but I just feel like it's very just hard to see Hellebuck letting go of playing that much, right? It's one thing to say, hey, we want you to play less, but what does he want? And him and Wade Flaherty go over their schedule every year at the start of the year. And yes, things change, but they have a lot of conversations about where he's going to play, when he's going to take days off and stuff like that. And with a non-Olympic schedule this year, there are more days in between games that they can get the rest that he needs. So I just feel like, why trade for Stuart Skinner for him to play 20 games? I feel like he's the guy that you're going to lean on when that trade happens. Is just when and if it does happen.
Okay, that's fair. So what makes you feel or makes you believe that he is going to get traded?
I don't know, like just all the rumblings, right? I don't know. There's never been any confirmation that there's been a trade demand at all, Jason. But I just, like, the way he talked the end of last year, it just felt like he's one foot out the door. So whether or not they can look at him and say, okay, here we have this, this guy was hurt. There's a lot of things, like just what I just said to you. A lot of things went wrong last year. They did 100%, but they took a big step back. There's no question about that. I just feel like he wants to go, and I'm not getting that from anywhere. It's just a feeling that I think that they're going to end up trading them. So, and man, if they do, the package better be, I've rarely seen Kevin Cheveldayoff be backed into a corner and come out not smelling like roses in these types of situations with Patrick Laine, Pierre-Luc Dubois, go down the list. So I know he won't rush into it, and I know he won't be bullied into a bad deal. So it might take a little bit longer than expected for the Jets to get what they feel is the right package for the organization and when they deal them.
Yeah, so it might not be at the start of the season. It might be sometime during the season. And that would make sense. And, it's like, you look at the Dylan Larkin situation in Detroit and, hey, you know what? You got guys under contract for long term, so they can ask for a trade. But I'll trade you when I find a deal that makes sense for my organization. I'm not just going to, bend over and take the worst trade just so you can go play somewhere else. It's not going to happen.
Right. And then Chevy's been very clear about that. Like, anytime he was pressed about that at development camp this year, he's just like, Connor Hellebuck is under contract for the Olympics. Yeah. So, I mean, that's period. And it is such a big move in terms of the franchise. I would argue he's the franchise's best player ever. But you're not going to sit there and take a bath just so you can make him happy. You had a really bad year last year. You need to put butts in the seat. You cannot take a bath on this trade at all because, as we know, great goaltending is very hard to find. But there's two teams in the Stanley Cup final last year that survived with subpar goaltending, and I think a lot of people are looking at that right now going, possibly we can pull this off without a Vezina/Hart Trophy winner.
Yeah, so it will be it's definitely a storyline to watch. Now, you mentioned the youngster Bjork, and it's hard to be an NHLer at 18. Doesn't mean you can't do it. Well, and it's to be a second line center. So let's say they're like, you know what, he's not ready, which is fine. He's 18. Who's then their option to be the second line center?
See, that's what I mean. That's where it's almost like, what are you getting something if you're trading Connor Hellebuck?
Right.
Adam Lowry's played the second center spot enough. He did it at the end of last year, but that's really not an option you want to go to. Ladislav Nemesnikov's had some great success with Cole Perfetti, but at the same time, when they had success, Nikolai Ehlers was on the other wing. And we all know what the dynamic player that he is and what he brings and what the Jets have lost on having him in the lineup too. So I don't know if that's really where you want to go. But that to me, and Morgan Barron is not going to be your 2C. He took a big step last year playing the center position, who he hadn't played regularly since college. But I am not looking at Morgan Barron and saying all of a sudden, hey, you're our 2C, go. Right. So it'd be a combination of Nemesnikov or Adam Lowry, but I just think that Adam Lowry is such a big part of your third line, and he's healthy, so you got to reestablish the line that is your identity for the most part in terms of your defensive structure, and you're night overnight shutting down the other team's best players, et cetera, et cetera. So those to me are the two guys at this moment that would be your front runner for 2C. What
about Scotty Arniel? What's he need to do is improve as a coach? Anything for this year?
Well, I think last year you're scrambling because like what is happening here after you had such a great year? And listen, talking to Jonathan Toews when he retired last year. He said, they needed me to be a guy that played 14 to 15 quality minutes, and I just couldn't do it. And that, to me, tells you how great of a competitor he is. He goes, Arnie was extremely patient with me. So I think they waited too long. And I'll tell you something, Jason, when the Jets, Gustav Nyquist, Tanner Pearson, Jonathan Toews, older guys, not exactly fast guys. We lost Mason Appleton. Adam Lauer's hurt. They went into Los Angeles last year. Adam Lauer comes back from his hip surgery. They play LA, Anaheim, San Jose, and I can't remember the order, but they got destroyed in Anaheim and San Jose. Like, they look so slow, and that's where they're probably like, oh no, and they couldn't recover in time. So I don't necessarily think that was what Scott O'Neill didn't do. It's just guys didn't deliver what they were expected to do, and I'm talking about Nyquist, Toews, and Pearson for the most part, but those first two players especially. What the Jets needed, because it was certainly expected that Jonathan Toews was going to be the 2C for the Winnipeg Jets last year, and it just didn't work out.
Yeah, no, it did not work out for sure. So I understand that.
Yeah.
Now, I know the Jets did sign a depth guy with some speed who maybe can help out on their penalty kill. So we'll see what goes on there. Could be fun.
Great guy, by the way.
Oh yeah,
great guy, by the way. I talked to him on the phone, and he. I'm like, hey, do you know anybody on the Jets? And he automatically, he talked about Mario Ferraro. Apparently they were roommates for 1 year.
Oh, they're super tight.
They're like best friends. And I've heard nothing but great things about Mario Ferraro. A guy likes to block shots, kill penalties, just like a guy named Noah Gregor likes to do the exact same thing, his speed. So listen, the injuries happen a lot, whether or not Noah starts here in Winnipeg. They love speed. They love penalty killers. The bottom six for the Winnipeg Jets, and Manitoba Moose are just down the hallway anyways. So all signs are there'll be an opportunity for Noah Gregor at some point or another to play for the Jets this year.
Yeah, no, it'd be good. Short little hop there. Quickly, JT. In Winnipeg, obviously the Jets are very good. The Bombers have been really good for 5 years, and give me a sense. I know you're a sports guy. The Bombers, what's the fan base like? Like, it's funny. Like in Edmonton, the fans almost got apathetic for a while, and they were frustrated. Now they're slowly coming back. And I know but it's almost like they kind of took for granted how good the Bombers were. It's kind of like, wow, they're just going to win every year, and they make it to the Grey Cup every year, right? And so I know they finally had that streak end last year, but what's the feeling around Bomberville right now?
Yeah, a lot of grumbling, man. And I think listen, every fan base does this. You take winning for granted. When you are, like, I know people are grumbling, oh, they suck, they lost the Grey Cup. I'm like, you just went to 5 straight Grey Cups or whatever, and you should not be complaining. Like, the Edmonton Eskimos did that, but won them all. That's like, to be the best for the longest time, I just think you do take it for granted. So there's a lot of grumbling going on here. I'm sure, as we all know, things change very quickly in the CFL because of the large amount of teams that make the playoffs in a small league. If you get on a 4 or 5 game win streak, you can turn things around real fast and get some momentum heading into the playoffs into October, and a lot of things can happen. But there's some concern here in the city, especially with the way they played their last couple of home games, and especially the last one that had a lot of people, throwing out their season tickets for 5 minutes.
Yeah, not good. Awesome. Well, JT, buddy, great stuff, man. We appreciate it. We look forward, and I'm sure every passing day, it's still probably the Hellebuck watch, just because it's such a big, deal.
Yeah, it's quieted down for a little bit. And listen, I haven't seen the city this excited about a prospect since Patrick Laine with Vigo Bjork. So I think that 8th overall pick has got people's minds away from the Hellebuck situation just for a little bit. But when camp starts, and that's going to be the number one story right away. There's no question about that.
Yeah. Awesome. JT, thanks for this, buddy. As always, we appreciate it.
Thanks, buddy. Talk to you soon.
There you go. That's Jamie Thomas joining us from Winnipeg. And yeah, man, the Hellebuck watch, that's huge. Like, think about it for a franchise, right? Oiler fans know too well how that goes, because you've seen it, not so much lately, but many times you had your franchise guys move on, and it's brutal for a fan. Absolutely brutal. So I could see there being a little bit of angst right now in Winnipeg. Take a quick break, come back, wrap things up. It's a Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Expand your brand with Fusion Promo Marketing. Fusion is your trusted partner for all things branded merch and apparel. Thousands of products perfect for businesses, sports teams, and corporate events. Fusion with a Z. Promomarketing.ca.
It's cone season at McDonald's, which means vanilla cones are $1 each plus tax in the McDonald's app all summer long. Soft, creamy, and crunchy. For just $1 each plus tax exclusively in the McDonald's app. App download and registration required at participating McDonald's in Canada.
At GS Construction, we won't quit until we find a way to get the job done. And the right person makes all the difference. We're looking for our next superintendent, an experienced leader ready to take on the role. Because while GS Construction is building the water, sewage, and drainage systems Edmonton communities rely on, the superintendent is building up the team. If you know how to keep a job site safe, productive, and moving, we want to hear from you. Visit gsconstruction.ca/careers today.
Got a car you're ready to part with? Find out what it's worth. Fast, easy, and totally free at Go Auto. We're talking top dollar trade-ins, whether it's a little worn or still rocking that new car smell. Just a few clicks, and boom, you've got your value. Text value to 780-777-7777 to start. That's value to 780 all sevens. Why guess what it's worth? Let Go Auto show you the money.
Mr. Rooter cries like a little tiny baby child.
Hey, Mr. Rooter, you've got a package from Mrs. Rooter.
Aw, the card says, "Thank you for our unbreakable bond. You're the Pro Press fitting to my copper pipe."
Ooh, what's in the package, Mr. Rooter?
Let's see. It's a Plumbus 2000 spud wrench. She knew I'd never buy one for myself.
Just like tears. It's flowing or it's free with Mr. Rooter.
I love that woman.
School's almost out, and road trip season is just around the corner. But if your brakes sound like they're grinding harder than a hockey fourth liner, it might be time to visit Napa Auto Parts. Napa has all the quality parts, tools, and know-how to help keep your vehicle running smoothly and road ready. With over 85 locations in Alberta, visit your local Napa store today or shop online at napacanada.com. That's Napa know-how.
Is it time to upgrade your golf bag? From August 6th to September 8th, the Leduc Golf Club Pro Shop is participating in the massive Callaway 2x trade-in bonus events. Bring in your old clubs and get double the trade-in value, up to an incredible $825 towards the purchase of new eligible Callaway gear. Upgrade to the latest Quantum Woods, Apex Irons, X-Forged, or Reva Rise clubs. Maximize your trade-in value today. See the Leduc Golf Club Pro Shop for details.
Portions of this hour brought to you by CanTorque, made in Canada, made for Canada, where extreme isn't theoretical. Find your solution at CanTorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through as we wrap things up on a Thursday. Friday's here tomorrow, boys and girls, and then another weekend. Lots happening. Major League Baseball playoff race, of course, tightening up. Jays did lose earlier today to Boston. Only managed 2 hits in that loss. And the Tigers beat the Guardians. Man, the Guardians are they're in a little bit of a tank job here recently. And Mariners did beat the Yankees, so they gained a game. And we'll see what everybody will be rooting for the Angels to win 3 in a row over Texas. That would be wild. The Phillies up early in the top of the first in the outdoor game, Field of Dreams game, 2-0 on the Twins. So Jays could get a little help on the scoreboard. When you lose, you hope the other teams lose. Now, let's talk a little bit more football. Robbie Smith, veteran D lineman for the Elks, of course, former member of the Argos. And of course, but there's so much turnovers, not a ton of teammates there left in Toronto. But I asked Robbie, first of all, just about the group and kind of their focus and what the discussion has been inside the players' room as how the defense, who has been very good all year long, bounces back from a subpar effort.
We just make sure that we keep our energy high, focus on the little details that we might have missed, and then just, keep our energy high. I think those are the big things that we need to do. Obviously, we need to tackle. We need to not have any missed assignments, but that's where it really comes down to that attention to detail and that energy and that aggressive. Like, obviously, we always want to be the dictators and we always want to be the aggressors. So those are the big things that we have to do to get back on track.
I noticed you had a lot of tackling stations today, right? And, you don't tackle that much in practice anymore in the CFL, really in football in general overall. And it is such an important part of defense. And, a lot of the players, JC admitted that tackling kind of maybe for the first time wasn't at the level you expect it to be. So when you kind of go back to basics, what are you doing in those tackle drills that allows you to kind of just feel, okay, I know what I'm supposed to do here again?
It's just the fundamentals of tackling, making sure that you're on the right angle, making sure that you have the right leverage partner if you want to force the ball to cut back, making sure your head's on the right side of the ball carrier so you could actually make the tackle. So stuff like that are the big things that the fundamentals that we're working on in the tackle circuit, that when it comes to the game, we already know, and it's kind of second nature to do all those things.
Because it's definitely not a lack of willingness. You see guys were going at the runner, and, Thies is a tough guy to bring down, but we haven't seen that a lot from this group. And so the difference, I don't know, Robbie, if you can explain, like when you come up, because sometimes we'll see a guy bounce off of a runner, and I'm like, well, it's not like the guy's that strong all of a sudden. Is that simply just taking the wrong angle? Are we talking like 2-3 degrees, or what do you see when you see somebody bounce off tackles too often as tacklers?
Yeah, so obviously some guys are strong, but sometimes if your head is on the wrong side of the tackle, then you're just trying to tackle with your arms. And these guys are all professionals. They might squat 500, 600, 700,000 pounds, whatever. So if they're running through arms, then it's a lot easier for them. If your body and your head is on the right side of the tackle, then they need to cross through your whole body to try and make the tackle. And obviously it makes it a lot more difficult for them. So that's why having your head in the right area, using the right foot to leverage yourself, and using that power foot all helps cut them down.
Toronto is unique in the sense that they pass a lot, right? And you know that as a defense, but they also have had that ability when they do run, they've reeled off some big runs. So how do you balance that to not just pin your ears back all the time as a D lineman, knowing that they're likely to pass?
Our D-line coach said, he says it all the time. He says carts. So he says know and respect the situation. So obviously if they're in certain personnel packages, if it's a certain down and distance, certain area of the field, their run possibilities go up a lot. So understanding the situation and where we're at in the ball game, and understanding the different formations and personnel packages that Toronto's in, is going to help us a lot stop those run games and not get too excited, I'll say, to, pass rush when it might be a run situation.
Last year, you battled a lot of injuries, and this year, kind of a little bit of a slow start. The last two games, though, from watching my perspective, and it seems to be your two best games of the year. Do you feel that way? And do you feel that your game is ramping up to where you want it to be?
Yeah, for sure. I feel it's always ramping up. I feel like I've had some good games, had some bad games, but we're just focusing on the next game every day, focusing on the next play, just taking it one play at a time, one game at a time, and then just going from there, and then everything else will take care of itself.
Alexander's a pretty chatty quarterback on the field. How's Chad Kelly? Does he get involved in that? Are you a trash talk guy in the course of a game?
It's funny enough, since I've never played against Chad Kelly since he was hurt last year, I actually don't actually like on the field. We'll see. So I don't talk too much trash, only when guys talk back to me, but yeah, it should be a fun one.
Interesting. So he'll play Chad Kelly for the first time. I love this one. Hey, boys, Bengals offensive line looks to be in midseason form. Now, I don't think there's any of their starters playing tonight. Is there cons? Like, I got to think no. But maybe did they get in a series?
I think so, yeah, because Joe Burrow was out there for a series. Went 5 of 6. That's enough to shut him down. Yeah, it looks like all the starters were out there.
Okay. Was he getting pressured?
He took one hit.
Okay.
One sack.
No.
And Burrow very smartly also just ate it, went down, didn't try to break it or anything like that. So, yeah, he's fine. He's good. But the Bengals offensive line get a little pressure there.
Yeah. I listening to Robbie Smith, and I love them describing just the tackling technique, right? And, getting your head on the right side can be small little details because, I do know that, Montreal's running back is strong, but I don't think he's that strong, right? So lots of it comes down to angles. Heck, you know what? As Noah Taylor said, he goes, man, if you get the right, if you get the hips turned on your offensive lineman, you could be a 180 pounder and you'll be able to blow by the guy. So there's so much of it about technique and proper footwork and the Elks. I think their defensive tackling hasn't been an issue at all. Like one game, I don't think it's an issue, but for one game, it was below par for where they would like it to be. Special teams, on the other hand, I haven't loved their special teams for a few weeks, Cons. And their special teams coordinator doesn't have a ton of experience. And I wonder, like, is Mark Killam going to be more like Killam? That's what his background is, right? And I just wonder if Killam's going to have a little bit more influence or input on the special teams. My understanding is they are going to be making some tweaks. Like, it's not a massive change, but there's just some changes. I'll have to look to watch if it's personnel changes, which I'm not sold it's going to be. There's only so many players on the roster. I think it's more so having the a better downfield coverage angles where you're, because you watch sometimes, like, they're booming the punts, but look at the return guy and look at how far of a gap there is between the return guy and the first two guys downfield for the green and gold.
Yeah, I mean, it's the term out kicking your coverage. We've heard that used when it comes to relationships a lot, but the origin is football. When you punt that football, and if your returner has 15 yards, it's open field, he's going to turn it up. And when you are a gunner, you're in a vulnerable position, right? You're going full speed, one cut, and you can be humiliated. So having that hang time, making sure your guys get in position with the 5-yard leeway space is key. And, it's one of the things we saw with Hugh O'Neill for a long time. Like, this guy could absolutely bomb the football, but if it's 20 yards ahead of your gunners, they're going to have no chance at all. And like you said, the offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator may not have the most experience, but I don't think anyone in the CFL has more experience than Mark Killam. Like, this guy probably is pulling his hair out when he sees these sorts of things. And it can happen. I mean, we've seen it a lot of times in the NFL when starters on defense go down, special teamers get that bump to the starting rotation and go off teams. But it's got to be corrected. Those are the little things you got to clean up, and it's impacted them a lot. Like, the Riders having big returns switch the field on them. The same thing with the Montreal Alouettes. So it's something they need to clean up, and I think it's something they will, but you got to find guys that are going to be buying in to do so.
Yeah, well, you got to get it. And, special teams a lot of time is just about commitment and the willingness to do it. And so if you're going, it's a small little detail sometimes in football, but if you're going to the game or you're watching the game on Saturday, look for, I think, a little bit more attention and detail in the special teams. They had way too many missed tackles and partial tackles where the runner was just running through guys. Not going to want that. And the most obvious thing, we're going to get into it more in the show tomorrow. We'll have lots of coverage leading up to the Elks game against the Argos. We'll hear from Coach Killam, Cody Fajardo, and a few others. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow's show, teeing up the Elks. Also a big weekend for the Jays, taking on the Yankees, golf playoffs, much more. Some junior football. Huskies trying to remain undefeated. We'll see. Wildcats hoping to bounce back after a tough and they got to go to Saskatoon, so that's not going to be easy. So we'll get all to that and more. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, I'm Jason Gregor. Let's get to a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Hire Good. For professional property service you can feel good about, get Hire Good. Site cleanup, debris removal, and more. Stable jobs, great stable lives. HireGood.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Tough one for the Jays earlier today, falling to the Red Sox 7-0. Up next, they'll host the Yankees for a weekend set. Those Yankees fell to the Mariners 1-0 today as well. Reds got past the White Sox 9-8. Pirates all over the Marlins 13-1. But the Tigers blanked the Guardians 3-0. One game going on right now, the Field of Dreams game. Phillies lead the Twins 2-0, bottom of the first. Later tonight, you've got Angels and Rangers, while the Brewers head to LA taking on the Dodgers. Week 11 in the CFL, it's going tonight in Calgary. Lions and Stampeders. Kickoff set for 7 o'clock in the NFL preseason. Underway here, the full slate of games. Bengals up on the Lions 3-0. Packers at the Steelers 3-0. And the Patriots at the Colts 3-0. Later on tonight, Raiders host the Cards, Chargers in Houston, and the Niners taking on the Texans. Some news off the field. Former Lions first-round pick Terry Arnold expected to sign with the Seattle Seahawks. Arnold was released by the Lions after he was arrested on felony charges in a connection with robbery and kidnapping in early 2026, while Canadian running back Chuba Hubbard will be sidelined week to week, according to head coach David Canales, a 27-year-old, is set to enter his 6th season with the Panthers. That'll do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, Fox Sports Radio. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with Tom Gazzola. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free